will be on the spotlight tonight, as they so often are. Barry Hall, Matthew Croft, Jason Heatley.
Chris Grant starting at full forward with Rowan Smith alongside him.
It's just such a big fallout for the loser tonight, isn't it? I mean, so much talked about the Saints having to turn it around. And if the Bulldogs lose tonight, well, they wouldn't be curtains for the year, but they'd be getting desperate.
He certainly has put it on his players, Terry Wallace.
Looks like Aussie Jones is going to tag Eagleton off the wing.
So the Bulldogs go to the right of screen. Ramiro gets the first kick of the match to half forward. Hudson. So Delaney's going to run with Hudson. And Blake, who we highlighted in the opening, gets his first kick in AFL footy. And he'll be pleased with that. A settler, 19 years of age. Jason Blake from Paran Dragons. Well, we do see the benefit of this great stadium tonight. It's had a lot of teething problems, but you would not want to be anywhere else on a night like tonight in Melbourne. Hudson over the top, Scott West. The first 5 minutes could tell a tale here. And hard out was Hudson from the side, couldn't take it. Trying to crash his way through. I think it's Smith or Johnson. And it's Rowan Smith, and it'll be a ball up. No change. There's the matchup that's not right for the moment. Aussie and Nathan Eagleton and Stephen Ziller. Eagleton trying to get to Ziller. And Jones stopping him. Everett at the back. Grant looked for a free kick. Big Spider. Squeezes one wide. Ziller to Harvey. Still with Harvey. Hayes onto it at half back. And decides to bang away and kick rather roughly to centre wing. Hunter, good back turn, but he's gone. The handball's cut off. In fact, snared there by Chad Davis. He runs a fair way and then kicks to Heatley. Didn't take it. Thompson was there, can't quite get it. Croft barges his way through. He takes three of them on and gets it to Curley, who squeezes it out to Hunter at half back. Hunter goes to half forward. Darcy a target. Well done, Hudson. Committed himself. Had to find the line and did.
It just looked like the wrong option coming into the St Kilda forward line. The kick in the end, it was just chipped in to Heatley and he had to wait for it. But they probably could have run all the way inside 50 and had a shot.
Well, Terry Wallace will be hoping that that stat holds up tonight. If he loses tonight, it'll be the first time as a coach that he's been beaten 5 in a row. West kicks inside 50. That's a clever mark.
There's going to be some interesting matchups tonight. We've already mentioned Tony Delaney picking up Paul Hudson. We've got Jason Trianides basically playing on Rowan Smith in the full-back, full-forward position. So there's certainly some interesting matchups to keep an eye on. But Paul Hudson's very clever around goals, and he does punish you when he gets the chance.
Dermott highlighted him as a match winner tonight. He averages over 2 goals a game in more than 200 matches. It's an impressive record for a smallish forward. He kicks right on 50. And he has pushed it a bit.
His size belies a little bit. He's actually not all that small. He's probably a true 6 foot and around 14 stone, but he plays as the small forward. But when he gets a matchup where he can be body on body like that, he's got good supple hands when he can just put out one hand and fend off with the other against an opponent who is smaller in stature than him.
Important the kick-outs tonight. We saw what happened to the Saints last week, particularly against the Crows. It was a disaster in that area.
Yeah.
They really did struggle. So Blake gets a second kick to half forward. Hayes is onto it at 50. Now Heatley, Ellis, Croft getting back. Was a terrific effort by Croft to make the third man in the contest.
That was a great effort by Matthew Croft. Heatley just had the wood on that duel then. He just pushed Craig Ellis out of the way. It looked like he'd take an easy chest mark, but Croft made that tough decision to leave his man, attack the ball, and did the right thing by taking it out of bounds in the end.
Saints right forward pocket, Lowe and Wine. They both got underneath it. Wine went to ground. Burke all over the top of him. West squeezes one out to about 60 metres, I guess. Barry Hall, still with Hall, and running it to the line. Big night for Barry too, isn't it? I mean, so much talked about what he did against the Kangaroos, how he lost it against Carey early. Must stand up tonight.
Absolutely, and if Croft is going to be a peel-off player to provide assistance, Hall has to come further up the ground to supply the short option and make sure that Croft isn't allowed to peel off on the easy option.
Double fister there from Wine to the line. So Libber Jones, Eagleton. So real swappies there, isn't there?
Oh, that'll take 5 minutes of sorting itself out, and then they'll have one each.
Wines and Lowe. Jones, who'd love to get an early touch. Handball away, cut up by Libber. A little one over the top to Eagleton, back to West, to Brown, to Darcy, to Ramiro. Could load it up, gets to 50, keeps it low, kicks it straight. It's a goal. He's kicked a goal.
Well, you could just about see him thinking in the back of his mind, this is out of my range. Please, something ahead of me unfold so I can dish off.
Well, the problem was all the leads got covered as he was looking at them doing one by one. In the end, he just had to go for it. But I thought it was going to be touched at the end, and it just took a little bit of a leg break and snuck inside the right-hand goalpost.
Good advice by Paul Hudson also, just pointing straight on, took the uncertainty out of it.
So Jose, in his 100th match for the Bulldogs, kicks the opening goal of the game. Harvey's little gift to Burke. Burke's check side to straighten it up, to fall forward. Heatley was a flyer. It ricochets back. Could the Saints score a lucky one? Croft overruns it. In hard at him was Heatley. It was a bit high. Croft's free kick.
I had Everett, Burke and Harvey, their three best in at the midfield. That last one for the centre bounce down.
Curley gets around Davis and then delivers into the heart of the centre square. Delaney running hard against Hudson. Garlick, 100th match, good give to Darcy. Could kick a second. Gets inside 50, loads it up, kicks it beautifully.
They are pumped at the moment, the Bulldogs. Just looking at the emotion that Darcy had on his face then. Luke Darcy, after he had a bounce, he kicked the goal. He has jumped about 8 feet up in the air and punched the air, but I tell you what, it was a magnificent short handball coming from Simon Garlick. It was just slick, it hit the target. And I thought he was in danger for a moment. Nathan Burke broke out of the pack and put a real good chase on. But for a big fella, he's got a bit of toe, Luke Darcy.
Eagleton off, Contessa on. Saints have got to kick a goal. They must stop any run here.
I'll tell you another great matchup out there. Robert Harvey and Scotty West. You reckon those two will cover a few miles tonight?
Scotty West with the ball now. Gets pinned, gets to the bottom of the pack pretty well. They've got runners on out now, out the wide, the Saints. Going forward with Knowles. He's got to look for something to unfold here, and he finds it. Luke Penny's on the end of that one.
Chad Davis,
sorry. I've got the wrong team there for a second. Look, once again we see Matthew Croft just peel off. He's been able to do that 3 times now. He finds Hudson out on the back flank. He's got blokes moving ahead of him for him.
Clever
Johnson,
kick.
one of them, as per usual.
Kicks the half forward to Garlick. Trinity's running with him. Still Garlick in the pocket. Kicks it down low and running away. So they kicked 2 goals on the burst from about 50. Garlick's angle a bit tight.
They are full of runs tonight, the Bulldogs. You could just see Simon Garlick then. He wanted to keep it low. He didn't fancy himself having a ping at the angle, so he just tried to keep it low and direct and try to get the ball to basically skid through and kicked it a little bit off the instep.
13-0 here. Darcy Ramiro, the goal scorers. Hodgson getting a free kick against Darcy. Well, Hayes the target. He's going to sit for him, I think, and he can go all the way here, can run along. Decides to go to Hall, finds him.
Good
Hall
open
goes to
forward line.
Peckett. Peckett to Heatley on a burst. They've gone wide in the end, and they have not done well. They really could have made more of that, and we saw the umpire running on Todd Curley there, John Harvey.
He's been knocked over a couple of times, John Harvey too. And gee, it was a good setup for Jason Heatley, because when the forward line is open, he does love to lead it. Just was a pretty ordinary kick coming in from Justin Peckett.
Only won 9 of the 32 quarters they've played in this season so far, the Saints. They want this one.
Low and wide. Ellis.
Geez, he was lucky. He took him on.
Up in the air, Curley. Wine. Hall. They've had it inside 50 a bit, the Saints. Nothing's come of it, though. Ramiro. Quick kick by Cox to centre wing. Front spot there was Dooley. Hodgson. All cut off. Darcy to West. West, little one. This will take a lot of courage from Dooley, but he held his ground.
Hudson on the lead.
Goes for him. Got him.
I'll tell you who set that up for the Bulldogs then was Luke Darcy. I mean, Maxie Hudson looked to have mopped up well, and Luke Darcy, for a big fella we mentioned before, he moves well. He put a lot of pressure on Max Hudson, and in the end, he intercepted the handball, and Paul Hudson just led into space. I mean, he is a master of creating space on the forward line.
Good kick for a big bloke, wasn't it? Not bad at all. Just had the little corridor to kick into.
So Hudson from about 48, really tight angle.
Stabbed at it.
Not going to make it. Everett was in the front, couldn't take the mark. Grant back there, takes them on. Left footer and misses it all. Had a sensational start to the season, Chris Grant, but that neck nerve injury really held him back, didn't it?
Yeah, he actually hasn't just been holding his body in front and marking it. They're going to change direction here. They have to take risks, the Saints.
Good kick.
Great
Car
kick.
on now, boys. Hitley off.
Thanks, Dipper. So car on, Peckett, low the target. Big stretch, couldn't take it. Ellis gone. Bit lucky. Thompson. Handball astray, Johnson in close to Ellis, Carr, Liberatore. Carr did really well there to Harvey, picked it up, caught, left-hand handball to Hayes, goes over the top to Stewie, must kick a goal, and he does, and didn't the Saints need it?
He is quite amazing, Robert Harvey. He was caught in the tackle then.
Stood up in it, didn't he?
But Dermot, it looked like he was going to have to give the first handball to the bloke right in front, but even though he was being held, he hung onto the ball there. See, he ignored Thompson running by because he knew there was a deeper option out wide in space. And in the end, he just, over the top to Lenny Hayes, he went over the top to Stuart Lowe, and an easy goal. I mean, that's a goal thanks to Robert Harvey, that one.
(13-6). Hayes has been busy early for the Saints. Superb play from Harvey to set it up. Everett still with the big spider. Awkward looking kick, a poor kick to half forward. Gave his forwards no chance. Cox playing in front. Blake pushed out to get a free kick. He's made a good start, this 19-year-old, hasn't he?
It's good size, isn't he? He's going to fill out, obviously, as time goes by.
And a good kick to Lowe. Wants to give off. Called to play on.
He's got space if he can hook it back over his shoulder.
Had to load it up in the end. Belted away by Cox. To halfback. Spider, heard the call. Harvey, still Harvey. To Everett. Everett to full forward. There's a chance here. Through the old fingers. Taken by Carr. Can kick a goal. Brings it around. Steadies it and drills it home. They needed those two, didn't they?
The body language is very good from St Kilda, even though they conceded the first couple of goals. They haven't given up. I mean, their body language is very positive. They're attacking the ball. They're trying to make the play. And one thing you would have to say, Dermot, it is a very traditional-looking lineup from St Kilda. They've got their best on-ballers in the middle.
Yep.
Peter Everett's on the ball. Stuart Lowe's playing at centre-half forward. It's almost like the olden days. Tim said, well, let's just simplify everything. We brought the young kids in, put our key players in their key positions and just let them go.
Well, Berkey's had 3 kicks already. And if you were Terry Wallace, you'd be wanting to weather that storm, contain him for a bit, but you know he won't finish out the game totally with that amount of running.
Gee, there's some talent in the centre square, isn't it? From both sides at the moment. West, Ramiro, Liver and Wine, and you've got Harvey, Burke, Everett with Knowles to throw in. There's 8 of the best in there.
So that was a real sign of St Kilda there, wasn't it? Berkey was on the bottom of the pack, and Ozzie Jones coming in late, as he should. He's a lightly framed player to run by the contest, and he's the bloke hovering over the top.
So Everett and Wine. Everett probably just won it. Liver pushes forward. Ramiro quickly onto his boot and gets some distance to fall forward. Smith fancied himself at the back. Delaney pushing forward. Grant held it up really well. Can't get an effective handball away. Peckett pushed as he kicks. Finds the line. Boundary throw in.
You watch that contest there, when Delaney goes in for it, he goes to ground, and you can almost read Paul Hudson saying, oh, thank you, God, I can get space from this one. And he just runs on forward of the contest. Doesn't work its way to him, but that's the way he plays the game.
Blake and Dooley, they're 2 of the youngsters. Rowan Smith's left foot right to the square. They go to ground.
Oh, they're on here over the top.
Hudson gets it. Jones away. Left foot is a beautiful kick. Davis attacked it hard. Brown's got Curly wide. Won't use him. Goes in board. Ramiro Ramiro can go wide. Contessa finds the man now. Cox goes to full forward. Good kick. Got Hudson.
That was a great change of play from the Bulldogs. Nathan Brown started out at half-back. He hung onto the ball. Again, he said, I haven't got a good option, but I've got space, so I don't have to rush it. And in the end, he saw a couple of loose plays in the middle. The switch came to the running Cox. And as most left footers do, looked magnificent the way he delivered the ball.
I felt sorry for Chad Corns too. I mean, he charged at the ball, and that's great that you...
Chad Davis?
Oh, say Chad
Cornsey.
Gee, I've got a couple wrong already. Chad Davis. And sometimes you just need to contain your enthusiasm and work out where the ball is going.
Third time lucky for Hutto. It is.
He doesn't miss many from there.
Eagleton about to come back on for the Bulldogs.
They're running an interesting setup. Wine does the tap, then plays a kick behind. Darcy comes on the ball to go with Everett.
Everett wins it. Burke unfortunately went to ground, and Wine Dibbett had the footy, and Ramiro a bit up and under, but at least gets it to 50. Trianides belts away. West underneath it. Good stuff. Now besieged left, right and centre. Harvey gets his hands on it. Umpire just sweating off on it. Grant bursts away, goes to his left, gives it a ride, sprays it a bit. It's a behind.
Bruce, the last time the roof was closed to that was at 3:30. Down the Kilda win, the ball won't bounce surely because it has a lot of moisture in that ground, so keep an eye on that.
So that's to the left of screen, Dipper. Thank you.
That's right.
Now the kick-out's so important here for the St Kilda team.
Absolutely. We see that most of their numbers are over on the right, and he's electing to go for the hard choice. Good spotter. Well, that's why he's kicking in. He's taking the hardest option and taking it. He's done well, the kid, so far, hasn't he, Blake?
Sure has. Wakeland his target. Curley was terrific. And then Liberatore's right option to Hunter, who wants garlic. Trianides. Oh, good stuff. Young Blake.
He is having a heck of a first quarter.
He's from Bo Morris originally. I wonder if he played with young Spriggs. More than likely.
Contessa coming off.
To Everett, to Hayes. He had to take that, really. And again forward, Knowles. Wine misses. Here's a chance. Barry Hall runs over it. Burke toe pokes. Ellis crunch. Ball coming out. It comes off Cox. Boundary throw in.
Gee, that was a little bit unfortunate for Scotty Wine. He's playing a kick behind play. He went for the grab, missed it, took out one of his other players and spelt trouble for the Bulldogs, but Ellis was there to cover in the end.
Trianides moved over onto Hudson now, down the other end of the ground. We look at the record at Colonial, the Bulldogs.
Pretty modest, isn't it, from both teams, to be truthful. Burke, wide, Thompson, well done. Really well done. That is a clever goal. Almost claustrophobic in there where he had the footy, wasn't it?
It's a very difficult kick to do, a chip up very high. It's very hard to keep it with the same precision of accuracy as you would for a normal kick, because you've got to pull the kick, you've got to kick it up as well as forward. I mean, he really has to sit here and just chip this straight up because he's got the players in front of him. The quick kick and threaded the needle. That is a brilliant piece of work.
Saints stay in touch here at 20 to 18. 3-2 to 3 goals. Still Everett and wide. It goes St Kilda's way to half forward. Knowles attacked hard, missed it. Hayes has been very good and then goes to full forward. Lowe and Hall both flew for it. Curley's handball. Hunter pushed. No free kick. Zilla just forcing forward the right option. Boundary throw-in. Cox, I think, on the ground.
Yeah, looks like Cox.
I think he's just winded.
Yeah. It was like to break his arm, boys, I think.
You think he's in trouble, Dipper?
Absolutely, Bruce. He's called for the doctors and they're saying you've got to come off the ground.
He's turned. I thought he got sandwiched in the middle of that pack and was just struggling for breath.
Low and wide, so that's a blow to the Bulldogs. Thompson, not much room here. Wins a handball back. Ramiro to the line. Boundary throw in. So Cox in trouble, isn't he?
Just gets caught right in the middle of this pack. Gets hit from a couple of directions. I wonder if it's when he landed on it. Then Barry Hall's fallen on top of him.
He's turned it in. He's turned his arm in and it's landed on top. I reckon he's done his shoulder there.
He's kept the brave face, I'll tell you.
Darcy got rid of a few there. Johnson, Knowles, can it bounce the right way? Hall, it's running away from the pocket almost. And was that a push to Carr? No, boundary throw in.
Yeah, I reckon he's done something to his shoulder there because he turns his arm inwards to his body, and he gets jolted on it from above, and it almost looks like it drives into its own socket.
It looked like they're just checking the wrist or the forearm there.
Harvey running hard, just out of play. Boundary thrown again.
It's definitely his forearm, boys.
Is it?
It was right there.
Yeah, it doesn't look to be too straight there in the middle, I've got to say.
3-2 to 3 goals, so terrible luck there for Simon Cox. Ramiro, Harvey with him. Wine just got it out and gets about 30 metres to the line, and another boundary throw in. Saints have probably had more of it, I think. It's 20 to 18. It seems to have been down the left a bit more than the right.
It's almost like it's just showing that they have got less talent in front of goals, so they don't put them through as easy, even though they've had it up there just as much, or if not more.
Low won it. Harvey was onto it. Good switch. Got it back to Thompson. Bit up and under, but to the pocket. Carr. Good mark. That's a good gut grab, isn't it?
Very good reflexes here, because he really has to work his opponent in Ellis under the ball. And at the last minute, he freed his hands to try and take the grab. Didn't take it cleanly. The ball went behind him. But he was quick enough to react and get it at the second effort.
Well, you'd have to say that's a good coaching move by Timmy Watson. Every time it came down, Heatley was beaten in 3 contests. And Carr, in his second or third contest, has taken a clean one.
Picked up in the pre-season in 98. He only kicked 1 goal in his career before tonight. Already has 1. Hasn't added to that total. In fact, he's made a mess of it in the end. But he started promisingly, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's given them something up there, and he's actually laid a couple of tackles already. So he's working hard when it goes the other way.
Brown outside 50. Darcy, good grab. So Darcy at half back. He's going back here and going back a long way. Curley tucks it under the arm, runs away, and then goes wider still to Croft. So there's been a big switch here. Croft's got Hunter outside, decides to come in. Ellis the target. It's been a promising build-up. Brown over the top. Now it's got a bit sloppy. Grant was terrific. West is on his wrong side, but it's a neat kick to the pocket to Hudson. Hudson was good there because he didn't run flat out. Then tries a miracle goal. It's close. It's a behind. Thought for a moment it was going to go through. There's Simon Cox.
Yeah, Bruce, unfortunately for young Cox here, I'll tell you what, he's kept a brave face. He's definitely has broken his arm, so that's bad news.
Certainly is, Dipper. Hayes to Everett. So they've been able to get it out the back a lot better tonight, haven't they, so far?
Absolutely, that's just smooth working there. And Lenny Hayes, who's finding plenty of the footy.
Hudson on for him too. This is a good build-up. They've been able to get it to half forward without a touch from the opposition. He's called to go here. He's in trouble. Thompson, front spot. Still Thompson. Back to Hudson. Should go inside to Knowles. He doesn't. Back to Hayes, who's been good. Hasn't ripped off him though. The tempo. Delaney.
Numbers.
Contessa. Curley. To Eagleton.
Great work by the Bulldogs to get it out of there.
And Dooley's little deft touch was terrific. Ramiro squeezes it. Burke gave him one too. Fairly, by the way, but let him have it.
There was tremendous pressure on the far side by the Bulldogs. They just would not let St Kilda break free.
Delaney to Hayes. Well, he's been very prominent. That's a disappointing result, though. Maybe a little too much on it. There's a fan of the Bullies. He wants a win. He hasn't seen one for a while.
Yeah.
They haven't won a first quarter, the Bulldogs, for a while. In fact, since they've been losing. They want to be in front of quarter time. Burke held up. Comes off Harvey. Zilla. Tried a handball. West got in the road. Gee, that's a great result. West was outnumbered 3-1. Got it to Darcy. Garlick. Davis running hard. There's a lot of effort from both teams here, isn't there?
Some good aggression out there. I think both teams pretty much fancy their chances at the moment. I mean, it could go either way, and they're both right in it. They both desperately need a win, and hopefully we can have this sort of pressure for 4 quarters.
It's amazing the tag. They're running basically a 3-way or tag team on Rob Harvey. Ramiro's got the job at the moment. Johnson swaps with him at about 5 minutes ago.
And West started on him at the beginning of the match, so they're going to use their prime on ballers to try and beat him in surges, if you like.
Yep. Johnson definitely had the run with him up until about 4 or 5 minutes ago.
Matthew Young getting ready. Hudson found the line. Dooley is tall forward, playing in his fourth game only. First time he's actually played 2 consecutive games of footy, so he'll be happy. Blake has been good. He sprayed that a bit to Garlick. Garlick inboard to Darcy, looked up, found the spider on him. Just outside his range. He's a thumping kick, but he couldn't goal from here. Hudson and Grant in the goal square. He's going to go and pop it up. Grant and Hudson, his twin targets. Grant stopped it a bit. Back to Blake. Gee, this has been an impressive debut. To Burke, who doesn't want to cough it up. Bounce, and then kicks it hard to low, and he takes a beauty to his buckets. That was vintage stuff. All Hayes too slow, gone, hold him. Just loping style, and West got hold of him. And then Garlick goes inboard to Hudson, who's had a very good first quarter.
He was just blindsided, Lenny Hayes, wasn't he? No peripheral vision to him.
Now the square's vacant, and Hudson's given it a ride, and it's going right there. Punch away from Dooley. Hudson, they found the post. It hit the post. It's a behind.
Thought he might have gone short to Chris Grant. He gave a pretty good lead there. He was standing side by side with Darryl Wakeland in the square, pushed off him and gave a good long hard lead straight up the ground. But in the end, the lead was ignored.
Let's have a look how Peckett goes this time. Look, they've taken it out easy every time, which has got to be a huge bonus for them. It just supplies so much relief. They work it to the wing now.
Gee, Knowles had Everett on there, decided not to go, low the target at centre half forward. Spider's going to be disappointed. He was very clear. I know he was wide. Libba at half back, kicks to centre half forward. Trianides will take it. But they have been able to get the ball to half forward from those kick-outs, haven't they?
Oh, it's a big bonus when your headaches only start at half forward and not at full back kick-ins.
Darryl Wakeland a bit up and under, but you'd back Stewart from here low. He's had a good opening turn.
Absolutely. His hands have been very solid so far.
And then gives it all he's got. Carr a target. Harvey read it best. Back to Hayes. Should kick a goal. And does. Robert Harvey's influence is enormous.
Well, you just see the class of a player like Robert Harvey. What he does do is, when he does get the ball, he always picks the right option. He has enough time to sum up what's around him. I mean, a lot of players, particularly when you're struggling and when you're under pressure, as soon as you get it, you give it to the very first option. But Robert Harvey, he's just watching things here. He reads it. He's in pretty heavy traffic, but he finds the one player in space in Lenny Hayes. And didn't he do that well? Made it look easy.
Rob Harvey fed that last goal out and just taking a breather at full forward. They probably know that they have to finish with his running by the end of the game, so they're giving him breathers along the way.
Gee, that was good by Delaney. Inspiring stuff. Carr and Ellis. Carr to the front. Back to Hunter. Knowles has tackled pretty good. Curley. Young. Didn't use Thompson. Probably should have. Up and under to full forward. Plenty of flyers. Croft nearly stopped it. Stiff, I reckon. Harvey off the ground. Will Brown concede? No, he's on his wrong side. It was touched off the boot. It's play on. Knowles slowly out to Delaney. Bad handball. Zilla. I say bad handball. It was very slow to Zilla. Good mark. Stuart Lowe's taken a beauty.
His hands have been very good in this first quarter.
I can't believe he held that. That was unbelievable.
He's going to play on. Risky, risky. Thompson doesn't mark it. Johnson's got a high one. You tell me, you guys know, it was just such a long high kick from Lowe. He was conceding so much in the end.
Very shallow pocket too. Take your chances from that one.
Brown short. We heard the runner on your program, The Game, 2 weeks ago, talking about Nathan Brown and the fact they want him to kick.
Yeah.
He's a designated kicker.
So you've just got to get to him and know that you're going to get a chance to get to him, because he will take the extra 2 steps. He's looking to kick it on nearly every occasion.
West to Johnson. Been a bit quiet, hasn't he, Brad Johnson? Haven't seen a lot of him.
Yeah, Zilla's paid very close attention to him.
Gets it to 50. Grand and Wakeland.
Good body work.
Dooley, little one to Libba. Libba's left footer. Has it got any legs? Pickett will force it through.
One thing I think Chris Grant needs to do is rely on his movement, his pace, his work ethic, and lead a lot more. I mean, if he just starts propping and wrestling with Darryl Wakeland, he's not going to get as much of the ball as he perhaps could.
Burke got it from Pickett to Trianides. Short and under, there's a poor effort. to Wine.
Turned it over a lot last week, Trinides.
To West, boundary throw. That's the first time we've seen them shaky coming from the back tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, they've been very good the way they brought it away from the goal square. But he turned it over 4 or 5 times last week, and he is such a good kick as a norm.
I guess if you're going to turn it over, you might as well kick it 60 metres rather than 10.
Exactly.
Back to Burke. He's had plenty of it, Burke. Knowles the target. Took the mark. Some promising signs here. Knowles has kicked a low. Why not? Low pushed out. No free kick. Carr and Ellis. Johnson. Boundary throwing.
I'll tell you what, it's interesting to see Tim Watson down on the boundary line at this early stage of the match. He's down there with all the coaching staff. They're pretty fired up. They're right in this.
Parko having a look.
Wine and low. Wine just fends it off to West. To Ramiro. Has to search for it, but he finds it. Ramiro to centre half forward. Trinides and Hudson. Well done, Trinides. He had to do it. It was a really good start.
A heavy shepherd from Everett.
Harvey inside 50. Now could he kick this, Harvey?
This isn't his trademark, is it? The set shot from 50 metres.
I'm tipping if he has a go at it and he kicks it too hard, it'll spin and it'll turn over left to right and dip horribly quickly at the end.
Well, it might
It goes the other
go
way.
away.
Goal.
It was touched.
He's kicked that abnormally to the way he normally does.
The second quarter here on Friday Night Football. The Doggies to go to the left of screen.
They need a bit out of Johnson this quarter and they need a bit out of Rowan Smith as well.
Yeah, a couple of their prime movers are very quiet. Rowan Smith has gone back down to full forward where he started the match. Justin Peckett's picking him up. And Stephen Ziller is all over Brad Johnson.
Romero wants Harvey, Harvey wants West, and West wants Burke.
Everett, Contessa, West to centre half forward. Trinides, well done. He had a big play late in that first quarter. Everett had to sit and wait. Gets to Thompson, who kicked a very clever goal in the opening term. Gets around Contessa and then centres it to Barry Hall. Nearly. Can he get a handball away to Davis? Croft was good. And
tackle.
Yeah, it was a terrific tackle from Carr, I think.
I'd love to see the St Kilda boys look at this replay at some stage. When the ball was coming in, both those boys from the goal square went to lead in the same direction. When the runner changed direction himself, they both changed direction. There is no movement. They're all going to the same spot, and that's easy for a back line.
Low, Ellis just toe poking it towards the line. Jones, Hayes out.
And whilst all that was going on, Nathan Eagleton had another spell on the bench. Paul Dimatina has come on for a run.
Robert Harvey, was he 100%?
Well, a quarter time, mate, he will certainly spend a lot of time over, and look, he's just coughing, sputtering. That is Harvey. He spent a lot of time with the water bottle. Keep an eye on him.
So you reckon he might be just a little off colour, so it's a behind
I
a
think
low.
so, yeah.
Pretty clever by Stuart Lowe. He's kicked that out of mid-air. He basically used his body strength to hold the opposing ruckman back and kicked the throw-in out of mid-air.
Yeah. He's going to have a good night tonight, Stewie Lowe. You watch. Looks like he's gloving them pretty straight. That's what's lying ahead. Alex,
Great kick.
plenty of Bulldog jumpers up there too. Oh, well done, Wine. Just knocks it down for front and centre. He's got Johnson there to give it out.
And Ramiro gets it. Wakeland and Grant. Off the ground. It was always coming. Smith's a chance. Peckett was all over him.
Well, yep.
He doesn't leave it to the umpire's imagination, Rowan Smith, does he?
Oh, no point in doing that. There's an element of doubt if you do that.
If there's an infringement and the infringement is on Rowan Smith, have a look at this. He will let you know that there has been an infringement.
John Harvey was perfectly side on to that one too.
Well, he was a goal kicker early in the season, Smith, and like a lot of his teammates has dried up a bit. And from the pocket, he puts the Bullies in front.
I was very interested just preceding the ball coming down to Rowan Smith when it was kicked off the ground by Chris Grant. The initial lead from Chris Grant, when Romero kicked it out to space, he looked to just be trotting. He was only jogging out there.
Yep.
And he's intent on using his body. I'd rather him just run freely and attack the ball. Just really attack it. Look, he's only jogging there. He's dead set jogging.
Good body strength.
Just like to see him attack the ball a bit more.
Doggies lead. 4-5. to 4-1. Harvey from Everett, and then torpedoes it to about 30 metres, low nearly. That's a good effort.
That is
been paid, is it?
I would like to have a close look at that, Bruce, because, look, it was a great effort with the one hand, and he does have huge hands, but it looked like it may have touched the ground in the middle there. So,
That was
look, full marks for the effort. He just has that one big hand sticking out, and, oh, no, he kept that
is
up.
a great mark.
That is
All the
brilliant.
way.
I thought it had hit the ground. That is a superb mark.
That's amazing control. A couple of the crowd don't like it looking at the replay on the big screen, but that did not touch the ground. That is a brilliant mark.
Dermot, you said you were going to have a good night. There's no arguing with that, but he needs to kick these goals, doesn't he? These are the goals he must kick tonight. 48 metres out.
Got it.
Careful with it. Careful with it. Squeezes it. It's a goal. He's got two, big Stewie.
Well, in the book, they look authoritative. That one didn't go through with much authority, didn't go through into the stands, but let's have a look at it from this angle. That's amazing body strength and just puts out the big mitt underneath it. Yeah, he's in for a good
That's
one.
brilliant. Now, he's taken 5 marks, the leading mark getter on the ground.
See the wince there?
Yeah.
After it, I reckon he's just jarred his knee a little bit. I reckon he might have just pulled his knee open a little bit on that, the right knee.
So the Saints back in front. It's been a fluctuating game in terms of lead here early in the second quarter and in the first as well. Wine, Everett was very good. Harvey running onto it. Back to Everett. Nothing handball really. Probably should have kicked in the end around the body. Brown gets it towards Hudson. Tries a Stewie low. Cut off. Blake's been so impressive. So's Hayes. Rides it. Has to get rid of it. Got a foot to it. Thompson called to play on. Switches it to Pecker. Normally a good field kick and gets it down the line. Everett or Davis running. Well done. Contest a free kick against West, I think. Or maybe Wine and going to Everett at centre wing. Spider wants Stewie again, and why not? Carr's been good. Not a bad kick. Coming back. Barry Hall hasn't been able to grab one yet, has he, Big Barry?
Gee, he might have been stiff not to get a free kick there, Barry. I thought he was held on to.
He's just trying to keep his cool at the moment, isn't he, Barry Hall? He's
I just thought, look, he made a good leap, and you can just see his arm got dragged down, the left arm. Probably a little bit unlucky not to get a kick.
Curley gets to West and he's quickly on.
Oh, look at this.
Gee, Libber, Trinides has to go here. No, Hutto's over the top. Gee, that's...
As soon as Paul Hudson is able to run back towards goal, he's nearly unstoppable. You're standing side by side with an opponent, all of a sudden you're looking at the ball coming upfield, he's ducked back, you've just got no hope.
You know what I reckon Terry Wallace has said? Within 10 minutes of this game, Hutto's on tonight.
Yep.
Let's put him 15 metres.
Give him space.
Inside the 50-metre arc, in the corridor, and let him work a bit and give him a major responsibility tonight.
Kicks from 45 metres. He's kicked his second goal.
Yep.
And you could just see after he kicked that goal, Tony Delaney, who started on Paul Hudson, went over and a pat of encouragement for Jason Trinides. He's a tough man to mark up. I mean, when he's running with the flight of the ball, the way they brought this out, and have a look at the weight of the kick from Scott West. Tony Liberatore does not break stride, and he is able to play on. And in the meantime, Paul Hudson's just ducked out the back door, plenty of space. Hutto might have let him know too. I think after he took the mark and finishes in good style.
Well, Hudson got 4 last week in the West, and he's got 2 so far. He got late goals in the West too, so it's 5-3 to 5-5. Back in the centre, Everett to Burke, to Everett, to Thompson. Goes wide. Davis running, didn't take the mark. It was a good chase. Zilla, boundary throw in.
There is nothing better for St Kilda fans looking at the bounce up when play restarted. You had your 3 prime-on ballers, Nathan Burke, Robert Harvey and Andrew Thompson, all having a chat of tactics with Peter Everett in the centre square.
And they've been prominent in that square. Wine, down to Zilla, down to Thompson, and he's hooked it. Misses the lot. Kicked a very good goal in the opening term. Dooley. Brown. Gets to 50 defensively, then goes back inboard to Hunter.
That's what Jason Blake did then. He ran so hard from the midfield, he blocked up this space that the Bulldogs were looking to run the ball down this wing, turned them back.
Harvey, it fell into his arms in the end, really. A couple of high flyers went early. He's got some shorts on. Lowe and Hall cross paths. Thompson now. Lowe's on here.
In space.
The kick to Lowe. It's a good kick too. He's got him. He's got him. Well, again, the shot for goal becomes really important.
It does, but look, it's just encouraging, as Dermot said before. He is on tonight. He's already taken 6 marks, and the Lowe of old used to take 15 marks a game, and that's what made him such a damaging player. The thing that's helping him tonight is his work rate. He is just running to create and running to create, even if he's not going to get the ball. He's making space and providing a very good focal point for his teammates.
I reckon he's just as good a kick when he pokes at them, and at this range he's not too bad.
He's got a fair lean as he's running in.
He's got a decent lean.
He tilts the body over. That's where he ran. He was lined up just right at the right post, and even though his body was trying to lean in towards the goals, that's where the front of his body was facing.
He might have taken on a bit of Rod Carter.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
He's just leaning out to the right with the body. And that's where it went.
Let's have a look what's ahead of Todd Curley. He hasn't got many numbers down the middle, although Wind is inside the centre square. He'll be looking for someone inside 50, trying to get a corridor, but he's going to go out to Wind now.
Spider will try and get a crack at it from the back. They had the flyers in the end, the Saints. Ramiro.
Oh, good throw.
Dimatina. Delaney. Dimatina. Hayes. Liver with him. Hayes and Liver. Some good footy there, and Hayes not putting his boot to the ball was important too, because it probably would have gone out on the full at the end. He let it run away. Look at that.
Yep. The old Teddy Whitten flick pass.
Playing for the Barker Whitten Cup, aren't we? As Brown to Dimatina, switching handball to Garlic, back to Dimmer, back to Dimmer. Well done, Delaney. Hayes. Spider's been terrific. Little left footy time. Can Big Bad Barry take one? He can't. At the back, Carr's been impressive. Left foot. Little one to Stewie. Well, no.
In fact, Grant's gone back.
Yeah. Grant back there. There's a sign of how well Lowe's going. It was one of the matchups we talked about, Dermot, at the start of the game.
Yeah, well, he's one of those 4 players we talked about, the big 4 for St Kilda. They've had the ball between them 38 times already. And he's punched the arm. Yeah, but he's punched the arm deliberately there. Yeah, well done.
Low. West just squeezed it outside the 50. Carr chasing hard. So Carr at about 70 metres. Floats a left footer and Wine takes it.
I like that though, Bruce. Carr chasing.
Oh, big switch on out here. Dimatina's worked all the way across.
Hunter now. He's got Croft short. May go back to Hunter. No, decides to go long now. Burke and West here. Burke did well, just worked him under. Aussie couldn't get any going there. In fact, Liver had a bit more momentum, and then Johnson gets around, didn't get around Burke. Darcy on his wrong side, West on his wrong side. Little give, Darcy out of the air. Ramiro, clever goal. Well done, Jose.
It was almost comical watching that build-up, because as the Bulldogs took it inside, they were looking for a right footer, and it kept going to a left-footed player. First it went to Luke. Darcy's gone, well, I need to kick it on my right foot, so I'll handball inside. And who should he handball to? But Scotty West. You have a look at this. Johnson finally gets the ball to Darcy. He's running the wrong direction to kick for a left footer. So Scott West. He looks inboard, there's nobody, but a clever kick by Darcy off the deck, and beautifully finished by Ramiro.
Two to Ramiro. Aussie Jones has got to be disappointed with all of that. Liver's beaten him to the ball, and then Johnson just shrugged him off too easily.
He just pushed him off it, didn't he?
6-5, 5-4. Burke. Wide to half forward. Knowles overran it.
Oh, well done, Brown.
It was terrific, wasn't it? To Liver. Brown and Liver. I've heard those names this week, haven't you?
Yeah.
Ramiro. To Wills. First run. Misses it. Hudson onto him. Wakeland. Gang tackle. Hudson. Free kick, I think, coming to
Wakeland, yeah. Coughed free and they still took him to the ground.
So that's a waste, isn't it? Wakeland short. To Davis.
He'll have to go for the big man.
To Lowe. Now Grant's down there with him. Big fly coming from Johnson. Grant read it pretty well. Archie's back, got away. And then finds Wills, who has some space. Will he take Spider on? And Harvey decides to load up. He's just taking a big chance. He did well. He did really well. Had a feel for it all. Then a bounce. Hutto's chasing him. Trinides away. It's a wobbly old kick. Gave Lowe no chance. Thompson. Terrific stuff, Thompson. Wonderful stuff. Knowles has kicked to the pocket. Hunter.
2-on-1 to the Bulldogs.
Carr, they overran it. Brown. Carr's got to hold him up. He does. Back to Hunter. Through his legs was clever. Back to Brown. Left foot.
Oh, that's
Curly.
great vision.
In trouble. Gone. Holding the football. Now don't give it away. Don't give it away, Thompson.
Oh, Barry Hall, the fireman, putting out the fires. Well done.
With a wry smirk on his face too. That's the way to do it.
Very tempered there, Barry was.
You just think there must have been a lack of talk from the Bulldogs there because Scotty Wind was virtually just a few yards to the right of Todd Curley, and I'm sure he must have been yelling, but Todd obviously didn't hear him and he's just given it up.
Good view.
50 out, kicked it terribly.
Oh,
It's a free kick.
Free kick to Hunter.
well, if the ball had hit the centre of Andrew Thompson's foot, it would have gone 20 metres left of the goals. He's still gone for the big hook foot and just skew-whiffed.
They've done this a lot tonight, just changing direction at every opportunity, the Bulldogs.
Well, they know the Saints don't cover the ground all that quickly.
That's what's in front of Contessa. He wants Wills. There's only a 50-50. Croft gets it back to Contessa. Thompson trying a second time. Mark taken at the back by Darryl Wakeland. He's got a couple of switch opportunities. He'll go to Harvey. Good kick. Harvey's onto it at centre wing. Can run away. He won't want to waste this inside. Gee, not a great kick. Barry Hall back. Wakeland to the pocket. Carr, free kick against him for the second time.
He did very well, Kingsley Hunter, working his way to the front. That's what won him the free kick.
Nathan Brown on his wrong side, right foot, and he's kicked it out on the full. Lenny Hayes at half forward.
Turnovers becoming a problem for both sides at the moment.
6-5 to 5-4. Low, well, they've ganged up on him, haven't they? They've got 3 going at the moment. And in particular, Chris Grant, who's been pretty good in the 5 minutes he's been back.
He has silky smooth skills.
I've got a feeling he hasn't even bothered to change with anyone. He's just gone down there.
50-metre
50 metres. I reckon he's just drifted down there.
Because
and
Wakeland's playing
loiters.
loose down in the St Kilda back line.
Wakeland hasn't got an opponent. Yeah, Wakeland hasn't got an opponent at the other end of the ground. So he's just drifted down there. And he's released. Who was on Stewie before that? So Hunter. So Hunter's moved over onto Carr.
Paul Dooley got a 50 and gave it to Wills, who gave it to Smith. We know how far he can kick it.
It's going to take one of his best to land it from there, though. I mean, this will be 55 metres on a pretty tight angle. You get a good shot of it there.
Loves them on the run, doesn't he, from a long way out. She's kicked it well. He has kicked a beauty.
Wow. That's magnificent.
And when you add up Thompson and Lowe at the other end, and then Smith at this end, it's a 3-goal turnaround, isn't it?
Yeah,
that really hurts.
And we're talking about turnovers. I mean, they do kill you. A total of 28 turnovers shared between the two teams already. 16 St Kilda, 12 with the Bulldogs. A good kick coming in from Wills, but he's just unloaded here. Now, one thing that Rowan Smith has to do, if he's going to play as a forward and not get much of the ball, you have to make the most of your opportunities. And he's kicked 2 goals from just the 3 kicks.
Jim Wilson from 7 Nightly News in Melbourne. He's a Carlton fan, Jim, but having a big look here, 7-5 to 5-4. So they're flat just for the moment, the Saints, aren't they? They really need a goal. The Bulldogs are not going at 100 mile an hour, that's for sure, but they've edged 2 goals in front. Hudson attacking, and then knew that there was pressure coming. Trinides and Brown and Burke. Brown and Burke.
Oh, that's brilliant work by Burke. Outnumbered 2 to 1, he fought tooth and nail.
Zilla, good tackle at the back, and then Garlick wants the line. Davis trying to keep it in, boundary throw in.
Only 3 possessions for Harvey this quarter, so it hasn't really had a big effect on it. Perhaps he did blow all the steam out of himself in the first quarter, and he might be carrying an illness into this match.
Wine lays it down as Harvey. Wine confident enough to take them on. Wine there. Wills has been busy. Delaney all over him. West read it best, and then pumps it to Hudson. Good fly at the back. It was set up for Wakeland. Got him. Going to come wide to Jones. Needs a big couple of weeks, Aussie, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He's got to resurrect it soon. It's a terrible kick to Hayes. Little give, Delaney. They might get away here.
Hasn't followed up, Aussie. Follow it, son.
Peckett. Barry Hall. Well, clean grab. Be happy for him. Inboard, okay. This is a good build-up. To Knowles now. Knowles to Lowe. Lowe slips over and Grant's got it. Play on.
Oh.
Gee, Grant looked to have stopped it in his tracks. That's an interesting one, isn't it?
Put the whistle to the mouth.
He was about to pay the mark,
put the whistle
anticipating
to the
that it would
mouth.
be taken.
I've always understood that to be a mark in league footy.
I thought it was. He secured it. He secured it. He stopped the ball.
He had a firm grab on that.
Yep.
Bit stiff. Lowe lays it down. Harvey tried to sneak it through. Ellis away to a space. Darcy and Hudson. Garlick to try and help Darcy. Garlick, Hayes onto him. Free kick to Garlick against Hayes.
Oh, look at Scotty West just skunked through the bottom of your screen there, and here he
And
goes.
he can run all the way to inside 50 if he wants.
He's got Hutto short. He won't go there. Smith,
calls him.
half volley. Bad result in the end, wasn't it?
It was a poor kick, and the mistake there was that Paul Hudson led up towards Scotty West. If he had have led back, Scotty West could have run inside 50, but Paul Hudson actually led into the space and dragged his opponent up to where West could have run.
He almost had too much time on his hands.
Yep.
If it had been instinctive and he had been travelling quicker, he would have made a better job of it.
Gee, Spider's been good. Straight to Knowles, to Trinides, who gives them some run. Left foot, good kick. Hall had to take it, doesn't. Now must deliver with a handball. Did. Was
all
strong
right.
enough. To Thompson, to Carr, very wide though. Lowe's in the goal square. There's not many other options. Trinides is short. Carr must get around the man now. He does. Now he loads it up to Stewie. Gives him half a chance. Well done, Grant. He has been a star back there. To Brown, and Brown to Johnson. Not only is Grant stopping low, they're getting bursts off him, aren't they?
Gee, West is getting plenty of it.
And he sets it up with foot skills himself going the other way.
Doggies have got numbers. West didn't like the option wide though, did he?
No, could blow right open here. If the Saints just don't tighten up through the midfield, it could really blow open.
Wills and Young. In the end, it was only a 50-50 option, and Young can come away. Goes to that's a good kick to Everett.
Yeah, he saw the movement, didn't he? He just put it out in front of him. Now he go to the square and let Stewie be one out with everything in front of him.
Yeah, as soon as they hold play up,
Yeah.
2 or 3 of them are getting back on Stewart Lowe.
Kick across. Finds Knowles, but they're a long way from home. Knowles wide. Well done. Davis just stood his ground.
He uses his body very well. He just leant in on his opponent, Todd Curley, then. And even though it looks messy when Curley goes to ground, you have a look at Davis. He doesn't do much other than hold his ground. He lets Curley run into him and just uses the momentum to keep him focused on the ball.
I reckon the old man would have been proud of that. I think the old man kicked 11 on one occasion. Alan Davis for the Saints.
Premiership playing 66. They need this big time, don't they?
Yep.
Have to kick this one. 45 metres out. Good kick. Kick the goal. Well done.
He's done well there.
Yep, I think you're right, Bruce. They just needed to reward themselves with a goal. When you do that much work and you get nothing for it, it becomes very disheartening. And that was a very important finish. You just see, look, he's got his eyes on the ball at all time. That shows a good sense of awareness of where his opponent is. He lets his opponent bump into him, holds his ground firm, and then in the end takes a very simple chest mark and a particularly good finish.
Burke on Hudson for the moment. 2 posies for Berkey this term. 7-5, 6-4. So the Saints close it a bit. Wine went early. Everett's been outstanding. Harvey in front of Zilla. Got it. Little one up and under. Hunt will take it. No, Carr was good. Coming in late. Free kick against him.
Contact with the ball
Even though he
first.
punched the ball, Dermot, they always look at where the eyes of the player are, and he was looking at Kingsley Hunter.
He hit the ball first.
Yep.
He got the thing first.
Darcy's big fly. Hudson with a bit of a push out. Darryl Wakeland trying to push it forward to Knowles. Well-weighted handball to Carr, who's been busy, and then loads it up to full forward. They're all Bulldog numbers. Hunter really, that was a one-hander, was not the way to go there with 3 men around him. Ball up.
I think he heard you, Bruce. He knows.
Well, a fair handful of jumper there too. St Kilda player unlucky not to get a free kick.
So 20 metres out. Saints in attack. Low and wide. Low just lays it down. Ellis can't get through. Hurled up, another go. Can someone get a big belt on this and push it forward one way or the other?
Well, wind down there for this one again. Romero's normally his preferred option. Let's see if but he's tagging Harvey at the moment, so probably won't go there.
Wine, then tries to win a free kick. Well, it's like a rugby scrum almost, isn't it? Harvey can be really dangerous in this situation, running onto a carny.
Absolutely. He just lays the ball across his body. He can just slip a tackle as well.
Interesting setup. Looking at the Bulldogs forward line, they've just got a couple of smalls up there, Hudson and Smith, and you've got Andrew Wills a little bit further forward of that. They're going to try and use their running game.
Wind and low again, a real battle of strength. Well done, Knowles. He got it out at least, and it's a behind.
They've actually scored more goals this quarter with Chris Grant playing loose in defence than when he was playing up forward.
But he does set it up for them by foot.
Yep.
I mean, it's rare to have a bloke 6'4 and a half who can kick it as well as he can.
Brown to Ramiro. Well done, Lowe, to hold him up, because Jose wanted to be away there, either with a handball to Garlick or on the burst. Bit of a hook. Darcy's his target. Barry Hall to compete in Hudson. Big fly from Croft. West has had a terrific turn. Back to Hudson. That's pretty sloppy, actually.
Yeah, that's untidy, Max.
He's had 18 touches, Scotty West, already.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
So Alvey, straight across the ground.
Brad Johnson's the one breaking out wide for him.
Hunter. Big kick to
Great
Johnson.
kick.
Now, can Zilla get involved? Can he take it off him? No. Johnson will sit. And then to the pocket to Smith. Peckett. Well done, Peckett. Back to Wakeland. Back to Burke. Oh, danger. Bad kick, Burkey. Ellis.
Will get it.
Hudson. Burke's tackle okay. Hip and shoulder coming in from Knowles was good. Zilla belts it away to centre wing. Bounce pretty important. Hunter, terrific stuff. Not much of a kick. Gets it back. Knowles. Trianides flat-footed. Jones. Can Aussie impose himself on the game? Good kick to Barry Hall. Back to Jones. Oh, could he go all the way here? Could he kick one? Go short. That's even better.
That was brilliant.
That's better.
You could just see Aussie in the build-up there. He was caught in two minds. I think he'd run a long way. He was probably running a little bit out of breath, but then it opened up and he thought, maybe I can go the whole way. And you just see him get the quick hands here. He's done a lot of hard work running there. Now he's looking for the lead. It wasn't there. Now he's thinking all the way. But then he gets the short one and delivered beautifully. That's a great setup. And that'll do his confidence a world of good.
Jason Blake, who we featured before the game, showed him being drafted, had a terrific first quarter.
Oh, is he there? He's got it.
I reckon he's got it.
Well done to the boy. Gee, I thought the umpire ran right across then, and I thought he stooged me, the umpire there.
And it makes Aussie's play even more important, doesn't it?
It does. Look, the St Kilda teammates came from everywhere to give Jason Blake a pat on the back, a bit of encouragement.
Yep.
I'd love to see a few of them go over and do the same to Aussie Jones.
Bit of uncertainty in that type of play, though. Three decisions before he eventually kicks it.
Scotty Winoff. These last 5 minutes have been so important to the Saints, haven't they? They're back level square here.
And the Bulldogs just haven't been able to put them away. I really thought the gates were going to open and it was just going to flood through there about 8-10 minutes ago.
Darcy Burke was important there. West has been outstanding to Brown.
Oh, good hands.
Terrific hand. Ramiro on the burst. He's kicked two. He's lined it up, loaded it up, and kicked a big one.
I'll tell you what, you don't think he's played a half of football. He's had 16 touches and kicked 3 goals, and that is as good a goal as you'll see from an on-baller. Just a big barrel on the run.
100th game for the Doggies tonight, playing his 100th for the Doggies.
Nathan Brown, look, whilst the handball didn't hit the target, it did find space.
Good vision, wasn't it?
And didn't he unload? That is a ripper. Every reason, every right to celebrate a bit of play like that.
Well, it's a big return, 3 goals out of Jose. I mean, he was a goal kicker at the Kangaroos, but he's been in a very different role for most of his career at the Doggies.
Absolutely. You talk about the 4 in there for the Saints. Look at the 4 in there now for the Bulldogs. We've got Jose, West, and also Johnson.
They're big guns to centre half forward.
Oh, that's got to be a free kick. And he would nearly be in range, Nathan Eagleton. If there's no pass on, he will go back and unload because he can kick it a mile.
Well, he'll hook around onto the left and buy himself a yard or two.
Peter Sumich.
They've left it vacant, and he knows it, and off he goes and kicks it. Have a look at that one. 2 in half a minute.
He's nearly done a victory lap in the centre square here at Colonial after kicking that, Nathan Eagleton. He's been on and off the ground a couple of times. He's only had the 2 kicks, but that is a very important one. And poor old Aussie. Well, you're stiff. I mean, you think you're safe when you've given a free kick away 55 metres from home.
I said it was an important 5 minutes for the Saints. It's been a big minute for the Doggies, hasn't it?
Yeah. And look at Hutto there. He was the intended shepherder, but just in case it fell short, Hutto was going to mark it.
Back to 2 goals for the Doggies. Very deep with long-range goals from Ramiro and Eagleton. Everett and Darcy. Ramiro to West. To Johnson. Saints trying to hold firm. Hudson trying to flick it out to Ramiro. To Contessa. To Darcy. Gone. Good tackle. But it's half-time and the Doggies are a couple in front. Saints trail by 12 points. Haven't won a game so far this season, and the Bulldogs have lost their last 4, so the stakes are really high here. Closed roof for Colonial. Ellis forward. Johnson's kick, Trinides with Hudson. Still Trinides. Peckett had it ripped off.
Good hand.
Wills was terrific, and Hutto kick a goal.
He's kicked the mongrel there, and it's still gone through.
Great play by Andrew Wills.
Yep.
It's almost caught them cold, hasn't it? You feel like it's caught the Saints cold.
Well, they were within a couple of goals, and you thought if they kick the first one, they'll get their tails up and they'll really have a go. But now they have to make sure that they kick the next one, because if it blows out to 4 goals, all of a sudden it's going to be very easy to fall into the same routine the last 7 or 8 weeks.
Well, the third quarters for the Saints have been disastrous this year. They've actually been in a winning position on 4 occasions this year, but they have been slaughtered in the third quarters. Scotty Wine's still on the bench.
They do get taken to the cleaners in the third quarter, the Saints, especially this season, haven't they? I mean, they had Richmond down and out for the count.
West Coast Kangaroos, they just trailed, and they had a lead over Sydney as well, and they gave them all up.
And you see the blokes at the top of the screen. St Kilda boys walking to the defensive side of the centre now.
This is the big margin of the match so far. The Doggies led by 13 points at one stage in the first half, but they're now out to 18 points. They've kicked the last 3 within really about 2 minutes. Free kick, is it?
Yep.
Gee, that was important because Eagleton would have fancied himself.
He's been a find, this kid.
Jason Blake, 19 years of age, first game.
Oh, Harvey's pressed. Did everything right, Rob Harvey, and the kick didn't find it, but he's good enough to win it anyway.
Thompson, good tackle by Liver. Gone for a throw, is he?
And Brett Moyle's come on the ground. They're obviously worried about the amount of ball Scotty West is getting, so he's picking him up.
There's Moyle's a little kick in. So Garlick at half-back down the line to Ellis, who's pushed forward a bit.
And Wakeland has gone over to Hudson now. So their best backman going with Paul Hudson now.
See Hudson calling for it to go
That's
inside.
A poor kick.
Gee, they both missed, and West sat back. That really would have hurt.
It was a poor kick from Ellis because he kicked 2 tools on a small, which was Everett and Wakeland against West, and it was even poorer play from the 2 tall Saints to let the ball go over the back and give West a shot for goal.
Di Martinez had very little room tonight. Now the pressure's on here. They were pretty good early with the kick-outs.
Yeah, he goes for the hard angle again. Now they'll be happy with that, the Bulldogs. They can bottle it up from there. If he has to kick straight down the line, they'll deal with that. It's the change of direction which he's looking for now.
He wants to change.
That's what the Saints want. He'd be looking for Peckett. Young swings away now. They're all manned up this side, although Wakeland's got free in the corridor.
Well, he's missed a couple, but Garlick's going to get back and get it. Well, that's a terrible turnover in the end because the Saints had all the numbers, and yet Garlick was able to emerge, and Brown gets it in short to Eagleton.
So you look at Wills on the other side of the ground if he switches it up.
Ellis is still floating by himself in the zone where he was.
He still can't see it.
Ellis on his own, got him.
He floated there for about 15 seconds, jumping up and down on the spot, saying, "Can't you see me?"
Gee, there's some danger signs for the Saints here, aren't there?
He struggled down back early, Ellis. This is the sort of thing that could get his confidence up. Maybe he can be a little bit of a focal point at half forward, running around, flying for his marks.
He's kicked 4 goals in his career in 81 matches, so he hasn't had too many shots, I wouldn't have thought. Kick to full forward, mark paid to Darryl Wakeland.
It was a bit of a nothing kick. I mean, he tried to chip it to a hot spot, but there was no one there that looked capable of taking a mark.
Knowles at centre-half back. Goes out wide, good kick. Very good kick. Moyle's got it. Little one inside to Barry Hall. That's better. That is a really good sign for big Barry, who's been out of sorts.
Got it in the corridor then, but I thought he actually needed to work just a fraction harder to go outside. He went for the easier option, the closer option, but look, if you win it up there, there is nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Whether or not he's particularly quick, he is explosive off the mark, Barry Hall. He just really slipped Matthew Croft by a couple of yards off the mark when that ball was chipped forward.
He kicked 41 goals last year. It was a good return. He was the leading goal kicker at the club. Has kicked 3 goals only so far this season. Under it, but it's going. It's a goal. Low strength help there.
Well, that's a big shepherd.
Lowe was able to hold out ground, wasn't he?
That never looked like a kick that was likely to go through.
No.
And again, you've got to question the Bulldogs' defence to have only one person there in a one-out situation on Stuart Lowe. There should have been another person there, preferably a tall, that could come over the top with the big fly. And you can just see there Barry Hall exploding off the mark, but this is poor defensive play to have poor old Chris Grant fighting. Look at the Bulldogs just standing around watching.
Well, a big goal for the Saints.
Eventually goes through at about waist height, that ball.
Wouldn't
so
be
only-
happy, Terry Wallace, would he do?
Yeah, only the one defender in there.
Everett, but Johnson had a quietish first half, got into it late in the second quarter. Hudson didn't take the mark. Eagleton to Hudson. Well done, Wakeland. To Hudson, to Burke. Well, can Spider take the smaller man on? Contessa brings him
Well
around.
done, Contessa.
And then terrific handball. Darcy actually handballed to Alvey, who was on hands and knees, and the Burke hurled Libber up. The Saints might get out of this. They may be able to hold it up. A good tackle coming from Alvey. Saints with numbers. Hayes, Burke, Thompson must give it to Everett. No. Harvey to Knowles. Loads it up and hits the post.
Looks pretty untidy the way he dropped that to the boot, didn't he?
He probably had a bit more time than he thought to.
Yeah.
I mean, he really kicked that off 1 or 2 steps when he could have run a good 5 or 10 metres towards goals.
Let's have a look what Hunter's looking at. And got Darcy right in the square. Now, if he hasn't got anything on, he'll go to him.
Gee, he can roost it too.
So Darcy, a target. Barry Hall had a finger on it. Knowles, sweeping handball, good, low. Neat kick low. That's a good kick. Harvey's at the back. Can the champ kick a goal? No, he can't.
He's
I reckon he might get another shot at this. He copped one across the mush.
He's got a free kick. Good spot. So Robert Harvey's going to have a second kick. The acid's on him here, isn't it? I mean, it's not his strong suit. I mean, he is such a great champion, but his strong suit is not kicking goals.
He was a soft free kick too, Bruce.
Yeah, it was. His team needs this.
Well, he turned that first kick he had, the one I thought he turned right to left. He turned it left to right, in actual fact. If he does that again, that will suit him from this angle.
35 metres out. They like it a lot. He's delivered. Well, this is a very good sign. The signs were not good 5 minutes ago. They are now for the Saints.
Well, if Harvey's been left up there just so he can run out the last quarter, they're in with a real show.
That's one of the softest free kicks I've ever seen up forward. That's
Ever?
unbelievable.
Yep.
And we're looking at it in slow motion and it doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
Imagine at normal pace.
Yeah, very fortunate.
Oh, that's thank you very much, umpire. May I have another?
Lucky free kick for Harvey, but kicks the goal. Back to 6 points. Everett, that backhand has been good. Thompson. Terrific take there from Knowles, who's been a good contributor tonight. Pelted away from Grant to Lenny Hayes, who started extremely well. The kick in board, Croft beat Hall to it. Then Barry was excellent. Hayes got a finger on it. Pushing forward, Heatley. Back to Harvey. Won't want to waste it. Kicks to Everett. They got him on another's road. Little gift to Zilla. Zilla's 45 metres out. It looks good. It looks really good. Scores a level.
think the Saints would feel themselves pretty fortunate to have had another opportunity after initially mixing it up. I mean, Robert Harvey knew where the loose players were. He's kicked it in there, and Spider, in trying to get out of his teammate's way, actually gets in his way. You have a look at the square up that comes here. There's a couple of loose players. Spider's doing his best to get out of his teammate's way, and he balks him. But Zilla going around front and square, gets the handball and finishes off beautifully.
About 2 seasons ago, he had a big patch, Zilla, where he went, I think he played up forward against Sydney in the wet, and he kicked 6 off the forward flank. He was very good that way. Now, Spider's been avoiding contact at the centre bounce here.
Well, Darcy went early.
And that's why he lets Darcy jump early.
Moyle to Thompson to Burke. Missed the target. Libba to Ramiro. Free kick coming back to Libba.
Oh, gee, they're away if he played the advantage.
He's still away.
They're running wide and fast and hard for him, aren't they? Good kick by Libba in terms of distance. Aussie Jones. Brown at the back. With him Zilla trying to hang on. Inboard. Jones clever in the end. Oh, that's a dangerous handball. Aussie puts Wakeland under the pump. Trianides back to Jones. Jones low. Well, he got out of it in the end. Handball by Knowles, who's had 5 touches this quarter, gets back to Burke. Harvey's had 5 as well. Down the line to Lowe. Grant with him. Blake's been very impressive, the kid.
Read that well.
Heatley at the back. Good belt away. Moyle, tackle at the back was good. Spider's got momentum up here. Croft will run it. Saints are in front. The Saints have hit the front with a rush behind.
All of a sudden there's a bit of feeling coming to the game in terms of the crowd. They're getting right in this. They sense that St Kilda may break the ice, and they have definitely got more support than the Bulldogs tonight.
That old animal enclosure just removed once more, and they're just looking for something to hang their head on and shout about. Well, that's a good zone by the Saints put out. They force out the doggies wide. Good ball.
Johnson. Contessa in to Hunter. Good build up to
Too
Grant.
easy in the end.
And then kicks to centre half
Great kick.
forward. Yeah, way away to West, who's been outstanding. To Eagleton. Little chip to Curley. Got him.
Well, we've seen Curley go forward on a number of times this year and turn into a bit of a goal kicker. He's looking for Luke Darcy.
Trianides, well done. To Lowe. Hot handball to Aussie. She's got Everett on here if he can kick it to him and Harvey. Grant against him. There's a bit of class in this one. Harvey. Back in board. It was a danger handball. Everett should give it back. Doesn't. Funny old kick. Barry Hall, this will be a good mark. He's got it. That's a terrific mark.
I tell you what, Peter Everett lined Chris Grant up from a long way away, and I'm very, very happy to say that Chris Grant's peripheral vision served him very well there, because he would have been knocked into next week if there had been contact. And good work. The toughest time for a defender is when he's running back towards his own goal and he doesn't have contact with the player that he's playing on. You're just looking for someone to grab or push or touch or hold, and you can't do anything.
Well, this will turn Hall's night around, won't it? Because he's got 1, he's got 2.
It was a good grab. It was a clever grab, that one. He just took care of the man enough to put him away from the drop zone of the ball and just went there and basically took the ball without any body contact when the ball came. See, there's no touch on him to put him off balance when the ball arrives. All the contact happens before it even gets there. They're on a mini roll, the Saints.
Kick the last 4. What about the pressure on Terry Wallace? They've lost 4 in a row. The Saints haven't been able to beat anybody all year. They trail by 7 points.
Got to be feeling it now, doesn't he? He'd have to be saying, do I trust the blokes I've got in there at the moment and hope that they can overrun the Saints like everybody else has this year? Or do I make some changes? Here they go.
Brown's on the end of one and sprays it badly. That may be an ominous sign.
Well, for a designated kicker, you would expect a lot more. The Saints will look to change here. Well, that's play on now, whether you want to or not, son.
Kicked it well, hadn't he, to Hudson? He's really kicked it well.
He's kicked well tonight, all over Frankie Peck.
Young short if he wants him. The one thing the Saints can't do here is a turnover to cost them a goal. They've got a bit of confidence up and a bit of momentum. They can't turn it over.
Good tackle, Curley.
Slap out was only a throw. Thompson, Johnson. They've got to hassle here, the Saints, don't they? They must hassle this. Jones, Harvey, you don't see that too often. He's always got some time. To Aussie. Little one to Barry Hall.
It's going over.
Heatley. He's thrown it. He's pushed it up in the air and then belted it. He's out of sorts, Heatley.
He is tonight, yeah.
Hunter to Johnson. Johnson
Nobody to kick
to Brown. Gets it on his wrong leg a lot, doesn't he, Brown? Back in board. Out in the forward. Gee.
Well, that all stemmed from the fact that Nathan Brown and Brad Johnson had to try and contrive something amongst themselves because there was nobody up forward. There was no one within 50 metres up forward.
Harvey's fallen down too. We're going to knock down the umpire.
What was that, Dibber?
And Harvey hit the deck, the uppie.
Yeah.
He's up again.
Barry Hall suddenly becoming a factor. Hayes to Spider. Heatley front spot. Handball away. Ramiro. Suddenly it's the doggies that are under real pressure here. Out wide. Johnson and Zilla. Zilla must play defensively here. Was it out? It was, and that's a good result. Robert Harvey is a bit shaken. And Grant's gone for Everett now. That's getting real deep, isn't it?
Well, this is just another move that Tim Watson has up his sleeve now. I mean, they've got Lowe and Hall playing well now, and he throws Everett forward.
Little slap out to Hudson to Harvey. He's going to kick it to Moyle very wide. Moyle's had a couple of touches. Inboard to Young. He's normally a beautiful kick. He's got Barry. Hall's become a real factor here.
A lot of room for Spider.
Spider goes now. It's an average kick from Hall. Grant tackled hard. Hayes tried to take it. Alvey didn't go far enough. He's made a good contest though. Barry's put a line. Light grip. Pushing forward Knowles. Burke to Hayes. Hayes back to Thompson. Thompson takes one on. Left foot. He's kicked it really well. He's kicked it really well. He's kicked a goal. They've kicked 5 in a row.
I'll tell you what it looks like to me at the moment. I think St Kilda are out-muscling the Bulldogs. Every time there's a bit of congested play or broken play, they are winning the ball at ground level. They are surging it forward in numbers. And then when the ball hits the forward line, they've got people with the aggression like Barry Hall, who put one of the best tackles you've ever seen on Croft. And then they have that many numbers around the ball. They're making it happen.
Well, he'd be getting excited, wouldn't he? He'd have to be the coach.
Oh,
but what about this fella?
Yep, there's some heat on in there. I've got to tell you, it was almost like the days of the WWF. Big Barry Hall put the back slam on him. Magnificent tackle.
Darcy was good there to deliver. Now the doggies' turn to come back if they can. Hudson. Trinidis has been pretty good. Blake's been terrific.
Good find, isn't he?
Jones. Hall really working here. Croft, well done. West to stretch was good. Took a long time. Gone Johnson. Ramiro. Libar. Well done. To Eagleton. To Dimmer.
Hudson's in the square.
He's not a goal kicker, Dimmer, but that's pretty good off the boot. Numbers getting back. Hudson nearly. He has 3-1. Now Pickett.
Look at Harvey up on the wing.
Can he get it to him? He has. Harvey's got Aussie with pace, but Wills is onto him.
Scotty White prepared to come on again for the doggies.
Young running. Bad kick in the end. Alvey, the tackling's terrific from St Kilda. Little toe poke from Zilla. Numbers back there for the Bulldogs. Contessa to Ellis. Will he switch it? No, goes to Hunter.
He'll have to hold this up. He's got nothing forward of him, so I expect him to hatch this for a while.
That's one of the big problems with the Bulldogs at the moment is when they do push the ball forward, they don't have a marking target.
No.
And unless they're taking it in very cleanly, they're going to struggle.
So Garlick between half-back and centre wing.
And they've lost their ability to switch the line and take it across the ground. They've lost that hard run, so they're going straight down the lines, and the Saints are able to pick it off. Ooh. There's a head-high bump. When your head's over it, you've got to reward the man who's putting his nose over the ball. Yep, they've just stopped changing it up, but they're just going straight lines at the moment, the Bulldogs, and that's why the Saints are just laying so many tackles. They know where it's going, and they're putting all the big ammo there.
Darcy wanted to go on. There was a good grab. It's probably a couple of metres too far out. He's a long kick. He doesn't want to go for it. Kicks it to Hudson. Trinidis stretches pretty well. Low. There are some terrific signs for the Saints. Not a good kick. Croft and Grant.
Oh, that's poor
Gee,
talk.
Croft did well in the end to push forward to Alvey. Good kick to Hudson. He's a class act. Can he make them pay?
He has to go for goal.
It didn't get up the bounce. He's uncertain. Inside, half volley. Ellis. Libar goes back to Jose's kick 3. They are running out of ideas and space. Eagleton. Oh, high tackle. Maxi can't believe it.
You've got to be careful because he doesn't want to give away a 50 here.
He almost backed into that like a forward would into an approaching tackle in rugby league.
They're actually, the Bulldogs are pretty low. Look, that is around the neck. He has taken him high. But again, the Bulldogs' problem is every time they look up, they don't have a target to kick to up forward.
Yep.
And that's why they're trying to manufacture something from 50 out so that they can kick one on the run.
But the thing is, the way they get odd men out by themselves is when they change direction.
Well, he was recruited for his long kicking and to get through the lines. Going to kick one from 52.
Missed it.
It's just not happening for him now.
Dermot, Scotty Wine's back on the ground. Maybe they're going to move Grant back to the 4 line and put Scotty up against Everett.
Well, they were 19 points behind at the 2-minute mark of this quarter, and now they lead by 12 points. So it's been a big turnaround to Jones from Burke.
It's a good result.
Hall had to play like a defender. Harvey. Knowles has been good. It's a terrific kick. It's a goal. It's another one. They've kicked 6 straight. Knowles has been terrific.
He's played a tremendous game, Brett Knowles. I mean, he's had the 20 touches and now kicked a goal. And the feeling you get now is that they've got their tails up. The players that in certain circumstances would make skill errors all of a sudden have the confidence to execute correctly. And you can just say this, he has a look, he didn't hurry it, the 2 leads were covered. He kicked a fantastic goal from 50 metres.
So what do you do with Chris Grant, Dermot? You shove him forward or keep him back? They've got to kick goals.
Gee,
He's on the way forward, Bruce. Craig Ellis has gone back onto Spider.
hasn't got there yet.
They've kicked 6 in a row, the Saints here. Thompson.
Well, they've
To
been
West.
out-grovelled, aren't they? I mean, they're just tackling a lot harder in this quarter. The Saints, they're just pulling the Bulldogs' running component down. When they want to win it and get into free space, the Saints aren't letting them. They're not changing direction either. When the ball comes into their back line, the Bulldogs aren't changing direction. They're playing straight lines footy. The Saints are just sitting on the end of it and picking them off.
Low. Harvey to Hayes. And again, Moyle, who's got it a bit low just with strength. Barry Hall's the target. They've got confidence in Barry, haven't they? Why not? He's played some sort of a 3rd quarter.
That's a good physical contest,
That's
isn't it?
his 8th mark, Barry Hall.
That's just really presenting yourself.
But he had to use his strength to hold Matthew Croft up.
Do you notice Wine's getting back? Remember the last time
Yep.
Hall had a shot for goal and it was only Lowe and Grant. Wine getting back in the goal square to help out. So 41 goals in 1999 as their leading goal kicker. Coming into tonight, he kicked 3. He's added a couple tonight. This would be huge. Kicked the last 6 goals of the game, the Saints. Their bogey quarter's been the 3rd all year. I tell you what, he's got
good
on
contact.
He may have kicked a point, but he's kicked it a mighty long way. It is a behind. And think of the investment the Bulldogs have put into this match. Liberty Financial have come in. They've bought all the seats. There's the broken arm for Simon Cox. It's a home game. They've lost 4 in a row. They're playing a team that hasn't been able to win anything all year. This is a huge game.
He'd have been a valuable mix-in for him, wouldn't he, Cox, actually, right about now? Give them the opportunity.
Grant sent half forward now, boys.
So he has made it up there.
Yep.
And they're switching
Harvey to
around.
Knowles. Just keeps getting at Knowles, doesn't he?
He's a good player.
Harvey's been big, hasn't he?
There's a lot of players inside.
Everett's the target. He's going to be 3 against him. He works to the front. Where's the crummer? Burke comes in. Johnson. Little give over the top was good in the end to Libba. That came from Dimartina. Libba touches it.
So no one to
Nothing
kick to.
to.
No leading targets.
Darcy's having to run for him.
He's worked hard here, Darcy. Knowles will cut it off. He's playing so brilliantly. Knowles and Harvey have used one another a lot in this quarter. Inboard to Hayes. There's a lot of confidence about the Saints. To Jones. Sweeps it to Trianides. He's got Heatley all on his own. He takes them on. He's still got Heatley. It goes to Young. Goes back now to Heatley. He's in trouble. Back it goes to Hayes. Back to Zilla. Left foot. They'll find Burke in the goal square. And Nathan will kick another one. It's all happening.
How did he get to stand in the goal square for that long? I've got to say one thing. Hutto played well in the early half, but to allow Trianides to run off and be the creator of that through there. Hutto's 15 metres out of screen there, just jogging. Now, sometimes they can get a break on you by a metre or two, but not 15 or 20.
There's a lot of players there that never got tackled when they had the ball, Dermot. They all had space.
The Saints are laying tackles at the moment, though.
There's a real onslaught going on here. They are under the pump, the Bulldogs. Robert Harvey's had a dozen possessions this quarter. I mean, you mentioned, will he be able to run out the game? Well, he's dominating at the moment.
Up forward.
They've kicked 7 goals in 20 minutes without reply, the Saints. It's probably their most important burst for the year, I think.
It's got to be holding the ball.
They could have this one at three-quarter time.
Yep.
They were 3 goals behind at one stage in this quarter. Low to Everett. Spider's got it. Well, this is icing on the cake, isn't it?
Gee, they'll be going for percentage soon. Well, no, better not say that.
The unfortunate thing for Terry Wallace at this stage is you get a good look at just the superior height. He was too tall for them all. The unfortunate thing for Bulldogs coach Terry Wallace is he doesn't have many options. He doesn't have enough manpower to make the changes he'd like to make.
Spider, he's caressed it, hasn't he? It's sweet off the boot. And that perennial problem the Doggies have had of being a little short at the back has been exposed tonight, hasn't it?
Yep. And Dermot, you made mention that Paul Hudson allowed Jason Trianides to run down the ground and set up Nathan Burke's goal a little bit earlier. He has just been removed from the ground. Nathan Brown coming back on.
Well, they have to try something here, the Doggies. They've got Contessa, West and Libba in at the middle now. Wind the ruckman, low to oppose him.
Spider's first goal, he's kicked 3 more goals, 3 times the goals than any other player this year, and he's kicked his first at this point. If he unloads at the last, watch out. Harvey's had 12 touches in this term. Been huge. Well, the Doggies kicked 2 in the last minute of the first half. They have to get 1 at least here. They've got to have something to go in at three-quarter time with.
They're killing them out of the middle, St Kilda. That's where it's all starting.
So Grant's gone forward. Well, West was so good in the second quarter, wasn't he? But he's dried up even. Low. Peckett to Thompson. A free kick. They're untidy, the Doggies.
Yep. They're not laying the same type of quality tackle that the Saints are. They just look lethargic now, the Dogs. Don't know whether that trip to Perth, whether that's taken it out of them. The dehydration effect of 3.5 hours.
Long bomb to Spider again.
Harvey at the back. Still with Harvey. Still with Harvey. Centering kick. Well, it wasn't a great kick, to be honest. The idea might have been reasonable.
That's where you've just got to have a little bit of selfishness in you
Have a
and
shot.
snap that one around.
If you played for Hawthorn, mate, on the wing, you would have gone for that.
Well done, Dipper.
You had a snap out of the centre.
Contessa. Just high, wind and low. They all fall over. Burke gets back. Peckett takes them to the ground. Stuart Lowe's injured behind play. Just in that contest. And the Saints are getting everything here. Stewie picks himself up. Burke's free kick.
Gee, he had a leg in the air for a while there, Stewie. He looked like he was cast.
Burke short.
Just copped an accidental elbow to the head.
Yep.
To Knowles yet again. Knowles to Everett. It's a good kick. Pushed underneath it, and then Everett sloppily gives a free kick away.
The good news for Saints fans is that Stuart Lowe is up and he looks okay.
They just have not run it through. Normally they'd keep going right across the ground. Well, they're going to have a go here, but nobody's
Nobody
run
to kick
forward
to.
for them.
Alvey. Wide. Now West working hard here. Gets it back to Brown. Hooks it back to Wills at half forward. Doesn't take it. Probably should have got a free kick. Trianides from Young. Left foot too far for Hayes. Bouncing ball. Hunter. Probably go the handball. Has some time. Good switch here. Smith's been so quiet. 3 kicks only and 2 goals. Kick off the boot to Johnson. Burke will want to get back to put some pressure on. Oh, good give to Burke, and he just loads it up to Peckett. Thompson will run past him. Doesn't use him. And then runs on, and then loads it to Spider. Got him. Well,
Very good play by Craig Ellis there.
he held his ground, didn't he?
He put himself in front. Oh,
Well, that
just
was
as you say,
telegraphed.
very good play. He goes and does something silly.
That was telegraphed by Craig Ellis.
What a quarter from the dual Brownlow medalist, Robert Harvey. 13 possessions. He was the catalyst.
Most of them up forward too. Nearly all of them up forward.
Won a last quarter, the Bulldogs, for 5 weeks. They've lost their last 4 quarters.
They've been in pretty ordinary form, but they do have a lot of midfield runners, and they will be able to run this out. They've gone with the more conventional setup up forward as well.
Everett, West, you'd reckon they need to erode the lead a bit early, don't you, the Bulldogs? They've got to get a goal or two pretty quick. Jones, wide. Moyle was good when he came on, wasn't he?
He's really stopped the control that Scotty West had in the midfield.
Gee, Lowe has been typical of his night, and they've had to give up Grant on him. To Harvey. Harvey's floating left foot, not a good kick. Wine didn't take the mark, though. Good tackle from the back. In fact, the Saints tackling tonight, particularly in that third quarter, was inspiring. Back into the centre. Darcy to West. West takes his time and then delivers.
Brown.
It's a one-out situation. Brown didn't take the mark. Young with him. Burke got back. Burke will put a second tackle on. Well done, little Burkie.
He got on the break pretty easy there, Brown, away from Young. I'll tell you what, there is a danger here for the Saints. If with Stewie Lowe grabbing that one, with them running the ball forward, it just looked a bit easy. And if they think, right, this is our first win, and why have we been missing out for so long? It's so easy. If they just think that for 5-10 minutes, the Bulldogs will slam on 4 or 5.
Young missed it. Brown, Burke to run him down. Still with Brown. Burke again. They charge over the top. Ball comes out. Chris Grant, well done. That's a great goal. That is a team-lifting goal.
There's one of them.
Brilliant. And that is what it is going to take if the Bulldogs are going to get back in this match. They need some magic from Chris Grant. He's the class player up forward. He's the man that can take a mark. We know how good his skills are. The way that he keeps his balance at ground level, I mean, that is making something out of nothing. They've got to get him into the game a lot more often, because there was nothing surer than the fact that if St Kilda had have kicked the first goal of this quarter, they would have won the match. But all of a sudden, the Bulldogs have just given themselves a lifeline.
Well, Wind hasn't got Romero in the centre square, so who will he go to? West will be his next option.
Everett goes really early, which he wasn't doing in the early stages. Zilla up and under. So back to a 4-goal game. Smith has had a pretty quiet night. Played forward early, kicked a couple of goals in the second quarter. Moyle, well done. But a really significant movement by Grant to kick that goal, wasn't it? A, it gives him enormous confidence. He'll be their go-to player. And B, it brings them back into the match. Cox can't go on, has a broken forearm.
Interesting that they put Nathan Brown next to him as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing to him, and he's been playing half-back, setting the game up for them.
West, a couple of touches early in the quarter. Burke running hard. Oh, no.
Burke is trying to say he was out before he kicked
I think he was. I think he was. This will come back as a throw-in.
Yep. Well, he's done well then, Burkie. He's umpired it as well.
He was very quick to point that fact out to the boundary umpire.
Let's have a look.
Just steps over the line as he kicks. Oh, it's a pretty line ball, though.
Everett and Wine, Johnson, Dimatina, been on the interchange most of the night. Hooks in, can Grant take another one? Well, Brown's going to kick one. This is the start they wanted.
Well, it can happen so quickly. 12 points of that 31-point lead have gone. Jose having a bit to say. Hunter,
That's not like Jose.
Heatley and Harvey.
I'm suggesting, Derm, you said no Jose in the middle of the ground. I would suggest that his sole option this quarter is to stop Robert Harvey getting the ball. Because he set this break up for St Kilda in the third quarter.
I think that is very, very obvious now.
Because he is playing fullback on him.
Let's see if Wine jumps early, and if Spider doesn't, tries to step around him again. He just doesn't want the body contact in there, Spide.
Terry Wallace has got 2 goals out of his 2 forwards that are standing in the goal square. Grant and Brown, hasn't he?
Well, I don't reckon Matthew Young likes it that close to goal. He likes the freedom of half-back. That's the goal square at the other end. Jose.
Barry with a bit of a smile.
Yeah. I'll back whatever side Barry's on.
Wine won the tap. West held on to. Gee, there's a change of momentum, isn't there?
Oh, I just got a horrible feeling. I had a great tingly feeling up the spine at 3/4 time. I've got an ugly one going now.
Hudson, good mark.
Oh, gee, tell you what, not only this team, if there was one bloke in the league who you didn't want the ball to be in the hands of, if you were a St Kilda supporter, it's Paul Hudson.
And we spoke about earlier how good a job in the 3rd quarter that Brett Moyle had done on Scotty West. All of a sudden, Scotty West has got a few key possessions to drive the ball forward.
Yep.
The supply that had dried up is there again, and this would just nearly bring the house down if he can kick this.
This to bring it back to a couple of goals.
Oh. Well, he has one every year. He didn't want it now.
Tim Elliott hasn't been used at all for the Saints tonight.
It's because the Bulldogs are such a small team at the moment, and with Cox being off the ground, he's probably the other side of the Cox equation. I don't think Tim will get a run either. It's all going to be foot pace now.
I've got a feeling Heatley may have been reported. Comes down to Blake.
Oh.
Cut off by West to Smith. Big high to centre half forward. It was touched off the boot. It's play on. Darcy hasn't heard it.
He doesn't know what's going on now. He's heard the call.
But it's all been played in one. It's all been played in. Well done by young Blake. It's been good. It's been played in one half at the moment. The Bulldogs forward half, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Darcy building wide. Trinedes and Hudson.
Good kick. Good clear.
Well, he was exhilarated at 3/4 time. He must be feeling a little tight now, Tim Watson.
Well, he actually had to harness himself at 3/4 time. I watched him. Terry Wallace was pretty collected at 3/4 time as well. He knew what he wanted.
Wine worked Everett under. Dimartina, that was touched as well off the boot. Wakeland belts away.
Get it again here.
Dimartina got a bad bounce. They held him up. Ball up.
Even though they've just clinched back 2 goals here, you just sense there is an arm wrestle at the moment. One more goal would suggest, hey, there's trouble ahead for the Saints.
Yep, but they have slowed the momentum for the last few minutes.
Yeah, they've put the stoppers on them.
Everett and Darcy. Well, that's a handy free kick. That really helps at this stage, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Now, which way will he go? Because the Saints like to change direction as well. And oh, danger, danger, danger. But, yeah, the boy takes it on for him.
Blake to
Now
Jones. Now, this is what Aussie can do.
He's pulled a hammy.
Hamstring.
Yep, he's gone, Aussie. He's in trouble. He's out of it.
It's a hamstring or a calf. It's a calf that he's done.
Barry Hall short. No. Not a good kick in the end. And the free kick going to Alvey.
He's got to come off, Aussie Jones.
Yeah, cramp, boys. Cramp of the calf.
And they're one... gee, the Barry Hall option just not right. They've gone short a couple of times going forward in this quarter. Liverett centre wing. Dimartina runs for him. The kick will go to Hudson and Trinedes. Hudson got rid of him. Pickett gets back. Hutto wants a high tackle, doesn't get it. Trinedes and Pickett to Wakeland. An important play. Bad handball. Darcy threw it back. Pickett's got to stand his ground. Brown whipped it off him. Kicks to the goal square. Hudson getting back with Burke. Boundary throw in. Jones, where is he? Is he still out there?
Yeah, Delaney's warming up. Yeah, Jones is still out there, but I reckon he'll be coming off, boys.
Yeah, if it happens once, it's going to happen again.
12-7 to 15-8.
Watch Hudson at the back here.
Doggy's making a run. Hudson, Wakeland, Harvey, terrific stuff to Burke. The only kick possible, but West went. Moyle didn't. Johnson tackles high from Zilla.
Gee, that was a sloppy tackle by Zilla because he had Johnson cold. Brad Johnson didn't know he was coming. He was looking inboard to handball. He had him cold, and he just got that right arm over the shoulder.
Didn't duck, he just arched to the back or leant forward and it slid up there with it.
Darcy and Grant wanted in high. Grant belted away by Wakeland to centre half back. Young Good tackle. Ball up.
Well, the Bulldogs are turning it around now. There was bite in that tackle. That one stuck.
They've still got to kick 4 more goals, though, don't they, basically?
You get the feeling, though, if they get the next one within a couple of minutes, the next 3 are going to follow. So the Saints are doing well here.
Oh, Libert a Garlic, his 100th match, strolls in and kicks that one that we were talking about.
There's one thing we do know about the Bulldogs. They are very big on emotion. Once they get their tails up and they start jumping, punching the air, running the length of the ground to pat each other on the back, Aussie Jones makes his way off with that cramped calf. But the good handball from Libert, I mean, he's the sort of player that can lift these guys out of this sort of situation. There you see the emotion starting to come out. They've got a sniff of it now.
There's Tim Watson with Andy Collins. Aussie Jones off the ground. We talked about those kids at Arden Street and the experience factor that the Doggies had it over the St Kilda team in terms of numbers tonight. I wonder if that could play a part now.
That'll have an effect on it, yeah, the inexperience.
Hudson gets it from West and then just gets it over Burke's head. Grant, whose goal was the one that really ignited them in the last quarter. A sloppy handball. Hudson, a bad handball to Trinides. They haven't been able to make a play in the last quarter, the Saints. Back to Burke, back to Trinides.
She's got no one to kick to.
In trouble, dropped at Zilla. All over him at the back was Eagleton. Back to Brown, to Johnson, to Alvey, to
they've got loose men up forward.
To Martina, someone's got to go. He's got it.
You know, Chris Grant did a very clever thing when that kick was coming in. He stood his ground. He didn't lead to the player. He pointed to where the loose player was in Paul Di Martina. And in the end, the player had to kick it to him because he didn't have any other options.
Chad Davis comes off because... Oh, we'll wait on the kick.
It's kicked a goal.
He's excited, isn't he? Chad Davis came off just before that kick because it was his man, Simon Garlick, who ran forward from the back flank to run past for that second last goal, but yeah, not confident when the ball's in Dimmer's hands for goal.
I'll tell you the key move that has got the Bulldogs back into this game has been Scotty Wine coming back onto the ground. He is getting his hand on the ball and not just tapping it down, but directing it to his players like Scotty West.
Seven points of margin.
Spider's just got to take some body hits here. He has just got to jump into Wine because he's giving his under players an armchair ride here. Yep, he jumps early. Well done.
Smother, though. West has been terrific in that centre square in the last quarter. And Liver just took it off, Young.
Oh, vision.
To Johnson. Brown. Held up. To Wills. To Di Martina. Left foot. Wide. But they've got numbers if they get the right bounce. Trinides has to go. Hudson. You know, the roof's on the top, but 22 of the 29 goals in this match have been kicked to the left of screen tonight. There's no breeze, but 22 out of the 29 have been to the left.
Couple of changes for St Kilda here. Looks like Aussie Jones about to come back, and maybe Tim Elliott will be used for the first time tonight.
Low to Wakeland. It was almost a throw, I felt. Again, a great smother by Hudson. West, high tackle.
There's been a few of those this quarter. They just need to go a little bit lower, the Saints. They're giving away possession at crucial times with sloppy tackles.
Heatley off now.
Oh, good lead from Nathan Brown.
He's been, and Peckett took his eyes off.
Yep.
Brown ran it out.
Oh, he's looked at the other line there, I reckon.
It wasn't a great kick from Scotty West. I mean, Nathan Brown made the good lead. He got the break, and he just had to wait for the ball to come down.
Suddenly there looks to be all the time in the world, doesn't there?
Doesn't there? What?
Low. Libber and Zilla.
He's been fantastic this last quarter, Libber.
Johnson to West. Little push. Dimmer. Slapped out. Out of play. Well, how important is this to the Saints to hang on and win this match to the St Kilda Football Club?
Oh. Well, this would tear their hearts out if they got beaten. Have a look at that. The Bulldogs have been forward 12 times to the Saints once, but it would dead set tear their hearts out if they get beaten from this position.
Wind and Low. Trianides through his legs to Jones, to Burke, straightens up, nowhere to kick. Knowles had to make a contest, he did. There seem to be Bulldog
Look at the
players
numbers
everywhere.
of the Bulldogs.
Contessa, they've got to put a tackle on. They did, they forced a turnover in the end. Knowles kicks it forward, Everett one out, must hang on to it. He's got to get a free kick. He's going to get a free kick against Ellis.
That's the best result because he had nobody forward of him, and holding it up with a free kick allows him time for players to move forward. They've filled it up now. He's got options at least. They're all manned up, but there's something ahead of him.
The Bulldogs blew it. They had numbers everywhere. Numbers everywhere, and they just turned it over with a poor handball. And now look at Aussie Jones on his own.
Burke to Jones. Wasn't a good kick by Burke because it slowed it and pushed Aussie even wider. So it stopped any run at the goal for him.
Stewie Lowe's moved through the traffic.
Harvey pushed out, no free kick. Lowe,
good contest.
Libba. An important mark for Zilla. Got it.
Tim Elliott warming up now. Looks like Aussie Jones will be coming off for Tim.
Burke again, it was touch, he'll play on. Burke goes to the pocket. Terrible kick, Nathan.
He saw Spider and he just didn't have the legs on it. Just dropped it about 5 metres short. If he changes it out
they
to
can
this
go to Chris
side,
Grant. If he goes quickly, he can kick long to Chris Grant.
no, he can't kick it that long.
No, but he can go overboard to Croft.
Croft's got it. 98 to 91. Libba has been super, hasn't he?
He's been fantastic this last quarter.
The kick to Ellis or Hudson. Wakeland was forced to go. Grant down. Good pressure there from the Saints.
He's gone, Westy. His legs are gone on him too. He'll keep finding it.
It came off Hudson. They're hassling well.
Oh, great play.
Good play by West. Bouncing ball to centre half forward. Lowe stood his ground. Wills is dangerous. Oh, flipped it out to the wrong man. To Hudson. Gets it to Delaney, who haven't seen much of lately. He must have been on interchange for about a half. Now Dimartina's on here.
That's coming back.
Johnson to Dimartina. Little kick to Darcy. Well done, Hudson. Bouncing ball. Hayes had momentum. Saints. Harvey. Harvey. A bounce. Still with Harvey. To Everett. Good play.
Safe hands. He just felt a bit assuredness there, didn't he?
You mentioned Scotty West being tired, Derm. He's had it 10 times this quarter already.
He's run out of tickets though. Have a look at him.
Oh, danger. Got him.
Oh, what are the Saints doing? They've run out of legs, the Saints.
As long as they don't run out of ideas, Dermot.
Yep.
Elliott on now, boys.
Elliott on. So Blake, who's been good in his first game. Wide. What a cliffhanger. So much at stake for these two clubs.
Their 17-minute mark just ticked over. 8 minutes to go.
31 points is down to 7. Hudson. Could Lowe take a big one? Belted away. West has been so good. Little give was good. To Libba. To Croft. To Hunter, who can really run. He might take a couple on here. He can take them on. Remember that goal he kicked here?
Oh, look at him lengthen
Another one.
stride.
I reckon he's seen the goals. Another one. Oh, they tried to run him down. Hudson caught flat-footed a bit. Trianides was terrific. Sweeping handball was good. Hudson wide to Young. Must take it. Does.
Now they won't run it quite as well.
Pickett now go over the top surely. Probably to Knowles. Pickett going for him. No. To Barry Hall, who was terrific in the third. Well, he was taking those. Free kick surely.
Oh, okay.
Croft not paid. Then takes a couple on. Zilla did all right. Got a touch to it. Hunter will be tired, you'd think. Back to Pickett. Left foot. Got it up and under. They've got
2 on 1.
Hall. Everett. Spider's taken it. Plucked it from nowhere. The most important kick for the season for St Kilda coming up.
See, I can't believe he ended up with the ball then. From the view we had, it looked like Barry Hall was the one making the big charge at it. He split the pack, and when calm was restored, Peter Everett had the ball in his arms.
I reckon Craig Ellis saw Big Barry charging at him.
He's kicked 35 goals this year. This is a monster kick. And he's drilled it through, and the Saints breathe a little easier. A huge kick, wasn't it? In the context of the match.
Absolutely. I mean, he's been kicking them all year. There's no reason to think that he was ever going to do anything but split the big sticks.
Well, it was one of their rare forays forward, and Matthew Croft just couldn't get the clear kick away. A great smother from Zilla.
We see a whole new equation now, Jason, with Tim Elliott in the middle.
Harvey and Romero back in the middle as well.
It's a big game here, but Lisa is within 2 points of $30,000. She's right on the money at the moment.
She's right behind my ear too.
104 to 91. Johnson.
Oh,
Elliott over the top. He'll be fresh and keen. Trying to get it out to Young, to Burke. You reckon Burke will really grit his teeth for the last 5 or 6 minutes, wouldn't you?
He'll screw it up and just bite the head off anything that comes in front of him.
Another minute or two and the clock would start to play a role.
Yep.
For the first time in this quarter.
or one more goal for the Saints.
Yep.
If they can just lock play up or kick the next goal, they should nearly get home. So
You'll enjoy this wine playing against the lesser Elliott. Gets that hit out.
Johnson's toe poke important. Albie given the run of it. Can't get an effective handball away. Lenny Hayes. Knowles is the target. He's been terrific, Knowles. Got him. They must be poised with the footy now. They can't do anything that's going to cough it up in a bad position. Low, low, low. Well done at the end. Gee, what about Libba? Then hooks it back. Not a good kick. Eagleton takes the mark. Knowles to put the pressure on. It was good pressure. Wine was terrific. Wester's handball. Eagleton. Johnson could go all the way. Johnson could go all the way. 50 out. Loads it up. Hooks it. Misses.
He gets a savage pull like that, doesn't he?
great chase from Stephen Ziller. He just had enough speed to stay on Brad Johnson's hammer and make him hurry the kick and not settle before he had to unload.
Let's have a look. Ooh, don't go wrong with it, Frankie. Yeah, good option.
And a good result. Moyles kick to centre wing. Wakeland's got to take it. He does. This is a very big play for the Saints. If they get a goal here, you'd fancy him big time, wouldn't you? Young. Elliott. Well, it was a terrible kick from a bloke who's a great kick. Young was just too far for Elliott, who had nothing in terms of momentum. And Contessa gets it out wide to Eagleton.
Yeah, they're playing straight down the line again, and the doggies have run to this side.
They've got men out here if they can switch
it.
If he can switch it and get enough weight on it, they do have men out here.
Smith the target. We know how he can penetrate. Darcy short.
Go to Grant. He's run back.
And again, the kick to Grant. Flying. Grant's going to kick a goal. Grant's going to kick a goal. There's a goal the difference.
Ooh-wee.
Well, you made the call-in play there, Dermot. Kick it to Grant. When the game's tight and the pressure's on, you've got to go to your match winners. You've got to go to your key players, your franchise players, if you want to call them that.
Yep.
And even if it's not the perfect kick, put it in his area, because he is the sort of player that can make something happen. He just held his opponent under the ball. He was the quickest to react when it hit the deck, and he just manages to get a boot to it. And there's only one kick in it.
2 last quarter goals. Do you like Elliott against Wind at the centre now?
Oh, I'm backing Wine to get first palm on it. He's just got to charge the body here, Tim Elliott. Oh, son, jump at him.
Well, Wind did get it. And the doggies might have been a bit stiff not to get a free. Elliott, they're going to try and rip it off him. They do. Hudson. Just deflected, I think, the handball. Garlic back to Libba, who's played a magnificent quarter. Gee, Jose's made a mistake. It's a hot footy. It's a really hot footy. Knowles has been terrific all night. Hunter's speed could be a factor. If they work to the line, Saints have got numbers. Can Hayes keep it in? He can't.
What a game.
It's edge of the seat stuff, isn't it?
Young coming off.
Yeah.
Well, you use him for his skills, and if his skills aren't working, you don't persevere with him. Not in a zone like this.
Davis on. Saints need another goal to win it, you'd think, wouldn't you?
Yep.
Ramiro.
Look at Harvey looking low, just searching for air, just gasping here.
It's a big prize, though, Dipper, they're playing for. It's a mighty prize. It's a win that they haven't had. They've won 3 out of their last 20, the Saints, and we go back to last year.
It's an amazing record, isn't it? Well, an unamazing record.
Thompson, Garlic, little give almost to Libba, to Smith. Well done, Davis, who's come off the interchange, but he just coughed it up. Wind. Now the Saints' intensity in there. Back. Libba got it forward. Must force it to the line, Ziller. Jones, and he did.
Well, that's a good coaching move. We saw Young Young coughs it up by foot, but you know he isn't going to give you that hardness at the ball. Chad Davis, great smother. The ball was 50 metres down the other end of the ground.
35,505 with a shocking night in Melbourne. I know the roof's on. You've got to say it was a success from Liberty. The kick inside. Grant held on. Darcy held on to.
Tell you what, if he didn't get it, Chris Grant would have, because he was being held at the same time.
Who's on Hudson? Who's on Hudson?
Dimartina's loose. They're loose everywhere. Look at Grant.
That's the one to kick to.
Oh, could go all horribly wrong here.
Chris Grant, from time to time, has had problems with his kicking. But he is still the player I would like to have the ball in his hands.
More so than Hutto.
Time.
Hutto's had his one miss for the month.
Yeah, well, I'm a Chris Grant fan. And I think when the responsibility's there, he'll take it.
Well, he set the last quarter up the comeback, didn't he, with a great goal early.
Yep.
He's gone a long way back. He knows the importance of it.
He and Libber have been fantastic.
Saints have already played one draw at this ground earlier this year against West Coast.
West Coast, round 2.
This to tie it up.
He's got the Michael Holding run up.
Gee, if Everett's kick was a big one 5 minutes ago, this is probably bigger.
Got it.
Well done. That'll get a monkey off his back.
How are you feeling now?
There are so many supporters at the ground now with their hearts in their mouth. They just don't know what to think. We've seen two completely different quarters. The third quarter from the Saints was unbelievable to open up a big break. They almost looked home, but the Bulldogs have somehow clawed their way back into it. And it's the key players, Scotty Wine, Scotty West, Tony Liberatore, Chris Grant, that have got them back into the match.
A bit like a basketball match. We've been going for a long time, and now the last 2 minutes really count, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. Just run at him, Tim Elliott. Otherwise, he's going to give his small man the ride. And there it is.
And play in front. Oh, they're away if they can get it to Wills.
Contessa, Ramiro.
Grant again.
So the doggies to Grant. Got him.
They're not going to score again, the Saints. I've got this awful feeling. They can't win it out of the centre now. They just cannot win it out of there.
They've got to bring Everett back in the middle, or put Stewie Lowe in the middle and get him to just jump straight into Scotty Wine. But he is directing traffic at the moment, and that's what's got them,
doesn't he?
Well, he's brought all their on-ballers back into the game.
Well, 2 giant kicks within a minute.
This will test him though. This
It's a tougher
distance.
kick. Yes,
Yep.
tougher kick.
Tell you what, I've got no links with St Kilda and my pulse is up and I'm just feeling like I've had my heart torn out.
It's an emotional night, isn't it?
Oh, unbelievable. But there's still time.
But it's a huge night for the doggies as well, and this is a mighty big kick. He's missed. It's a behind the Bulldogs lead.
Well, let's have a look what Frankie Peckett looks at. Down the barrel.
There's some irony here too, because they've had so much trouble with their kick-outs.
Yep.
Could they win the game from an efficient kick in here? Gee, Peckett to himself.
First time for the night he plays on. Goes to Elliott, 3-on-1.
And Libber at the back. Little handball didn't go far. Davis. Gee, the doggies have got a taste, haven't they?
They gobbled him up pretty quickly there. And there is runners everywhere out there at the moment.
I'll tell you what, Brett Moyle's just taken off and run forward. He's loose. Kingsley Hunter's had to cover him while Garlick comes back.
Spider still in the goal square. He'll just push Elliott around here. Does so. That's holding the ball.
Millie didn't appear to be making an effort, but they over the last couple of weeks they've gone lax on that decision.
Watch the way that Wind just collapses the frame of Tim Elliott.
It's got to be man on man here, boys, doesn't it?
Wine, Elliott, Dimartina.
Important possession.
Or a mongrel kick.
Can Aussie take it? Missed it. It's inside 50, Peckett. Doggies have got the numbers. Hunter takes the mark.
They'll start chipping it around, I think, the doggies.
He'll go to Wine.
They'll chip it around.
Goes to Wine.
They are one of the best teams. I would say the Bulldogs and Essendon.
Johnson's all on his own. He went on.
Played on.
Big mark coming up one way or the other. Grant. Hodgson in close. It gets to Trinides, can run it. Switches it. Delaney.
Run for him, Barry.
Hall's got it. Comes off him. Gives it up. It's okay. Delaney. Can Spider take it? He went early. There were no crummers at the back. Hunter's pace. He wants the line. The Saints are desperate. It's back to Spider. He's on hands and knees. He gets it out to Burke. They're fishing for it. Smith tackle. The Bulldogs have won it. I can't believe it. And neither can Tim. And neither can Terry.